purging is at last at hand. The day of doom is here. All that is evil, all that are lies, your parents, your leaders, those who would call themselves your judges, those who have lied and corrupted the earth, they shall all be cleansed.
Okay. Sir Kinaz is here. Perfect. Just waiting on Sir Cleveland, but he should be joining us shortly. Sir Kinaz, try sending a request. There we go. Sir Kinaz, if possible, week 4, part 2 is still not up. If possible, try uploading that when possible. Yeah.
I will put that up today.
No worries. Sir Kinaz, are you winning?
Oh, we're winning so hard. We're winning so hard, we're firing generals en masse because we don't need them anymore.
Are you sick and tired of winning, Sir Kinaz?
Well, yeah, I can't really, not sure what more I could do here. I'm winning so hard I can barely contain myself.
Oh, dear. Oh my gosh. It's just like, you look at this crap and you just tell people that, okay, look, the reason, it's all relative, right? Oh, you're only losing, quote in quotation marks, losing 1 airframe every 2 days that are outright destroyed and 3 that are damaged. Well, that number is going to go up by quite a bit as you come closer to Iranian airspace. Right? And they're going to start shooting those things down faster and faster, right? Just so you know, folks, a helicopter is far easier to shoot down than a jet.
Yeah, helicopters don't run at near supersonic speeds.
Yeah.
The other problem with a helicopter is if your plane gets damaged, there's a chance you can glide it home. If a helicopter's rotors stop running, it becomes a big stone.
Dear. Broad daylight, long distance search and rescue mission over Iran. Very daring. Let's see how that plays out. 1 hour ago. Yeah, basically they were using a tanker to refuel a bunch of these like Apache helicopters. And then I think a bunch of these Iranian tribesmen, they spotted them and they started like blasting them. So that's going to be hilarious.
Well, I think that's a basic problem with air refueling.
Yeah.
You're essentially a big old sitting duck while you're refueling.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, we're not in the 20th century. There's satellites, there's radar, and if you're not using radar, you can look at heat signatures, right? So no matter how small the radar is, you can always look at heat signatures, right? And so this is what I try to explain to people. I explain to them that, look, this mode of warfare is for the past, right? If you're in the 21st century, and you're just like, okay, man, I'm going to refuel 2 or 3 times with my fucking helicopter. I'm like, okay, dude, like, you're just no different from the guy who's insisting that I got to use heavy knights in an era of gunpowder. That's what you want.
It's basically, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, look, we got the best heavy cavalry in the world. Like, what are all those tribesmen going to do when we come in on horseback, in our shining armor, ready to teach them who's boss, and who's the serf? It's like, well, what they're going to do is they're going to fire drones at you.
Oh, but good sir. Obviously the drones miss all the time, but for some reason they always hit our radars.
Yeah, the drones miss all the time. I've seen all the coping mechanisms. The problem now is we don't have the luxury of copium. We had the luxury of copium when it's like, fine, Zion Don is stomping his feet and he's saying something stupid.
Yeah.
It must be a day that ends in a Y. Oh, he's going to take Greenland. That was idiotic. But there was no real danger of Greenland shooting down, what was it today, an F-15, possibly an F-35, a Black Hawk, may have hit a refueler, may have hit a warthog. Okay, a warthog is what those used in Vietnam?
It was used. It was used in the first Gulf War, but originally it was designed specifically to fight the Soviet Union in Europe. So like it was designed for like a 1980s World War II scenario, which has been like obsolete for like almost half a century, right? And so like a bunch of Iranian tribesmen, they noticed that, oh, it's like moving at subsonic speed. Let me just use my Sten guns or whatever those things are called and fire on them, right? Which is basically what happened, right? So in the past 24 hours, one Black Hawk shot down, one F-15 shot down, KC-130 refueler targeted with anti-air, and then a Thunderbolt targeted with anti-air. It's gonna get worse. Like what's gonna happen is as they try to do this like ground invasion or whatever the fuck, right? They don't have any sea lift, so what they're gonna do, Circuit, and that seems to be what they're doing, is they're gonna try and land special forces via air, right? And you're gonna see more and more of this shit get shot down, basically, right? Like right now, the rate has been, okay, every 2 days, an American jet gets destroyed, right? And 3 of them get damaged, right? By the way, like at that rate, if you start off with 600 airframes, which is what this campaign started off with, to get to losses of 35% or higher, you need 7 weeks, 8 weeks, right? This is a fucking disaster, man. I mean, oh, enough. We're going to get strategic defeat, but tactical success. I'm like, okay, no, that's not actually true, man. You're going to get strategic defeat. You're also going to get tactical defeat. Okay, Sir Cleveland. All right, let's go.
Sir Cleveland is with us. Greetings, Sir Cleveland. It's always a good day when the Duke of Doom is with us today, people. If you are really blessed to have Cleveland Blakemore with us, probably one of the great thinkers of doom that I know.
I'm mourning for the people that have been killed so far on both sides, but part of me feels fortunate to have been born during this period in history and see all the prophecies of doom for the United States have come to pass. It's turned out that the doomsayers were the only ones who were right. Everybody else was wrong. And if I hadn't been born when I was, I wouldn't be alive now to see this, which is almost certainly, it's the end of the American empire. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah. Sir Cleveland, are you winning?
I think the Americans believe they're winning, but within 24 hours, they're going to realize that MAGA and Trump and all of this was just a big diluted dream. None of it was real, but they won't really get it until the body counts start to come in.
Yeah.
And they realize we've lost thousands of the very best men in the U.S. Army and Special Forces over there.
Yeah.
And they cannot be replaced. They're men that have been trained at a cost of $250,000 at least. And they won't be replaced in our lifetime. So I grieve for them over there, and I can't believe our government would send them to die in such an obvious death trap. I feel sorry for those men and their families, and I certainly feel sorry for the Iranians, the Iranian civilians, and all the people they've lost, just so that Israel can live out their bizarro fantasy of fulfilling prophecy. It's all sick and weird and diseased, and at the end of the day, it's just cost a lot of human life. None of those people had to die on either side. Sounds to me like this morning it's gone pear-shaped so quickly, it's quickly turning into the stuff of comic relief with the jet getting shot down, the Black Hawk getting shot down. The last time I felt this embarrassed was hearing about them trying to rescue the hostages in Iran. And all the helicopters smashing into each other in the desert. It was almost unbelievable. They actually crashed into each other at night. And that's just inexcusable.
Just got a breaking news message here. Tasnim, Iranian state media, has reported Iranian forces have captured the American pilots. These will be the first American POWs of the war.
Horrific. They're likely to be executed on Iranian TV. It's so humiliating. Yeah. it's really a hard sell.
The Iranians don't view America as combatants in war. They American soldiers have the same classification as terrorists under Iranian law, right? And the reason they have that classification,
that's right.
Yeah, and the reason, and the reason they have that classification. So if you talk to the parliamentarians and the people who made the law, and you ask them, okay, why do they have the classification of terrorist rather than like combatant? The answer they give you is that, well, there's no formal declaration of war, and they're attacking us, so this is what terrorists do.
Yeah.
There you go. Actions of consequences.
Some people think that Israel wanted all of this to happen to justify their use of nuclear weapons on Iran. And I suspect that could be part of their plan. I hope not, but it might be possible they want American soldiers to die on TV so that when they follow that up with a nuclear strike, it will seem like it is a rational response, but it isn't at all.
Yeah, the thing is, right, like right now, it's at this point, it's early hours. It's going to take a while for this to crystallize. But so far, what seems to be happening is if you go to like Iran's southwest, there's like a tiny patch of Iran. I think it's Khuzestan province, which has a border with Iraq, and it's very, very close to Kuwait, right? Kuwait has a lot of American soldiers, right? It's got something called the Kuwait complex, which Iran has peppered with missiles and drones, right? But there's probably a bunch of Americans in the bunkers somewhere. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because Khuzestan is actually, in terms of terrain, one of the only places, Sir Cleveland, in Iran, which is like close to sea level, right? So if you go to the Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988, Saddam Hussein invaded Iran with like 1 million-man army. And back then, right, in 1980, right, back then, that army had everything. It had chemical weapons from Germany. The Americans were giving it like artillery and all this other stuff, right? The French were giving it like anti-air. Like it basically had everything from the Western nations, right? I think even the Soviet Union pitched it, right? Anyway, when they invaded, the only patch of land that they quote unquote conquered from Iran back then was like that tiny strip of Khuzestan. They tried to go up the mountains and hills. I think they only went up by a couple 100 meters, and then Iran pushed them out, and they got pushed out of Khuzestan within the first 2 or 3 years of the war, which is like 1982, 1983. But like the Americans are just like fucking copying Saddam Hussein. It is so laughable. It's like, dude, are you actually gonna go to Khuzestan? Because if you grab Khuzestan, right, like there's a bunch of mountains in front of you, right? And they can see you from like up there, you guys down there, right? So
yeah,
it's so funny. They're reviving the playbook that Saddam Hussein used. Fucking like, Saddam Hussein. America has been like reduced to this status in like 2026.
Yeah. I've heard the Iranian Royal Guard described as a very, very impressive military force that combines the virtues of guerrillas with an actual standing army. And remember, they train in this terrain. It's their home base, which the defender always has the advantage.
Yeah.
And they're familiar with so many of the menaces here that I guarantee you the 82nd Airborne has no idea of what's down there on the ground. Whereas these guys probably know the terrain, they know the layout, they know the avenue of approach, where they're going to fire all their anti-aircraft weapons and drones.
Yeah.
And once they're on the ground, I mean, it's going to be a slaughterhouse. You're just going to have Americans running. Where? Do they have a map where they know where they're going to run? No, I think those generals were fired because they said, listen, until they have some avenue by which we can guarantee they can be evacuated when it goes sour, we cannot send troops in there until then. And that's why they got sacked yesterday, because they put up very rational objections to what they were doing. What's going to happen is you'll have thousands of troops cut off, running pell-mell wherever they can go, probably trying to hide themselves under the sand. And I don't think they're going to last long. If the IRG and the guerrillas and quite a few people who live in the desert have been recruited are looking for them, where are they going to hide? It's just mountains and rocks and sand. There's not a hell of a lot of places. that they can hide in down there. So I think it's going to get really ugly the next 24 hours, really grotesque.
The thing is, Sir Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
The reason the army chief was sacked was because he just flat out told Hegseth, and I think this is coming out. It's a rumor right now, but we're probably going to get confirmation for this. But the army chief basically just said that if we try to invade Iran, it's going to be a logistical nightmare, right? And if we try to retreat, well, we could retreat in front of us, which is like the Iranian mountains, and we will all die. Or we can retreat behind us. Because again, open up the map, Geography Class 101. If you're in Khuzestan, you've only really got two ways out by land, right? You've got forward, which is into the Iranian mountains, and you get slaughtered. Or backwards, into what is the country that is backward?
I want to know, why is a drunkard from the National Guard, not even a real soldier, a person who injured a Marine Honor Guard by throwing bottles into a parade, seriously injured a man.
Yeah.
Why is this guy given a command and allowed to send these elite troops to certain death in Iran, any more than having our executive commander as a real estate broker who's dodged the draft 4 times? He got 4 deferments from his father. He sent the poor to die for him previously. Now he's sending our very best elite troops to die. I really think that Hegseth and Trump should have been at the head of the column. They should have been given a parachute, a candy bar, and an M16 that frequently jams, and drop into the desert themselves. They can lead the charge if they wanted to. And also, I don't know why their children are not enrolled. If they think this is worth it, Barron and his other children should be enlisted in the military. It's disgusting what's happening. It's a shame that the United States will never live down. Not in a century will they live down what they're doing today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, right, if they are trying to, and it looks like they're not doing Karg Island or whatever, maybe that they're still going to try it some other time, right? But let's say they try this, right? Let's say they try Khuzestan like Saddam Hussein did. Okay, so, special forces land in Khuzestan or whatever, right? To do like a raid or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get fired by like the guys up there in the mountains and the foothills right in front of you. And if you want to retreat, the country behind you is Iraq. The same country you evacuated, and the only place you've got a base left is like Erbil, which is like the Kurdistan part. Right? And so it's like, okay, bro, they don't like you there. There's like more than 250,000 militiamen, right? If you retreat back to Iraq, what's going to happen is, given the geography, you're going to get slaughtered there at the Iraqi border or right inside the Iraqi borders. And then the tribesmen, the militias, they're going to go, you know what? We just fucked up the Americans. You know what we should do? We should invade Kuwait because, hey, we got 150,000, 200,000 boys, and Kuwait's only got like, after you add in the reserves and everything, 40,000 or so. So we actually have the ratio, like the firepower ratio, like 3:1 or greater to invade Kuwait, which Saddam Hussein, by the way, just so you remember, Saddam Hussein conquered Kuwait in like 3 days. These guys are probably going to take a week, maximum 2 weeks if the Americans put up some fight. Right?
And if anybody has a justification for it, it's Iran right now. If they want to take Kuwait and say we're only safe if we control Kuwait from now on, they're going to end up with more holdings and more resources than they did before this started. It's disastrous. It has essentially upset the apple cart of world power structures and real politics. It's not going to recover. It'll never go back to the way it was before. And when this is over, the United States will be humiliated. Everybody is going to come at them. Everybody is going to see them as a weak, collapsed nation of a bunch of people who don't even know each other. It's now so multicultural, you can barely call it a nation. And China is going to take back Taiwan very shortly now. This guarantees it. And they're probably not even going to have any opposition.
No. They're not going to have any opposition. They're just going to tell Taiwan.
All over the globe. will think, damn, they couldn't even beat Iran, man. Let's take everything they have everywhere. Yep.
Like, I don't think the Iranians are going to annex Kuwait. I think if anyone's going to annex Kuwait, it's going to be Iraq. It's going to be like that militia, right? But Kuwait's not going to survive this war. I don't think so, right? Especially if the Americans retreat now. Like, if the Americans retreat now, the borders in the Middle East are not going to stay, right? Like the World War I borders that we've witnessed for like over 100 years. Yeah, those are going to be erased, right? Like how many people are in Iraq? 48 million. Kuwait is 5 million, right? Imagine for a second, Sir Cleveland, Iran gaining 53 million people, right? It basically then has the same population as Russia, right? But then it controls like a significant chunk of like not just global oil and food and all these other things, right? Like right now, there's this professor in like University of Chicago, and sometimes I listen to him just to get an idea of what the mainstream academics and these guys are saying, right? Because again, we are like a fringe outfit over here, our Doom podcast, right? But what do these guys say? And Robert Pape, this guy from University of Chicago, political scientist, he just basically said, what is it? 35 days ago, there were 3 centers of world power, Russia, China, and America. Right now, there's 4, and the 4th one is forming at the expense of the United States of America, right? Like, that's what that is, right? And so it's like, well, enough, don't worry, man. If Trump retreats, right, and just declares victory, and, the Europeans are going to show up. They'll take care of it. They'll fuck themselves up. But don't worry, man. We are across the ocean. America is going to become, better off overall because we are self-sufficient. We are an autarky, blah, blah. No, bro, shut up. You are fucking coping, okay? If you surrender like that, and that's what it is, it's a surrender. If you surrender like that, Iran will starve tens of millions of Americans. You're not going to get the 45% of sulfur, right? You're not going to get the phosphates. You're not going to get the helium, right? Good luck growing food. Good luck growing food. I'm telling you right now, you can't grow food without that stuff, right? Yeah. Oil and gas. Oh, enough. We're self-sufficient. No, you're not, man. You still import shit, right? You import shit from Japan and South Korea, right? The guys who build all your stuff, they get their oil from these places, right? So that's what this is. I mean, it's fucking pathetic. I'm seeing all the quotes from Americans. Like, I know some smart Americans. I know some smart Americans. I'm not going to name names, but I know some smart Americans, but they just behave like cattle, man. Like, holy shit. I'm like, dude, you got to look at second, third, fourth order effects, right? Like, oh man, we can just retreat and everything will be fine because we are self-sufficient and autarky. No, dude, you're not in the 19th century. You're in the 21st century. And in that 21st century, America is none of these things. And without the sulfur and the helium and the phosphates and the 50 other things you get from Hormuz, which Iran now has a chokehold control over, you're gonna starve, man.
The Americans have had it so good for so long, as with all nations, they've gone soft in the head. It's not until the famine hits that it's all going to come home for them, and they're going to realize they've been bamboozled by MAGA, by Trump, by this whole show, this whole floor show of America's coming back. They're going to realize that was just another trick. So I reckon with the body count and then the food shortages and famine coming in the U.S., it's going to come home for them then. It'll be too late to do anything about it at that point.
There's a big cope. Yeah. There's a big cope right now. Like, there's a big cope right now. It's like...
Big cope.
Like, right now what they're doing is... I was on Substack yesterday, and I was just laughing. So I saw this guy, and we've actually had him on the podcast a few times, right? I'm not going to name names, but I think people know who I'm talking about, right? But he's been on a podcast a few times, and he's like, oh, well, the war is going as I expected. The only thing that has affected me is high gas prices. Everything else seems normal. Don't worry, guys. Just stay the course. Everything will be fine. I just laughed. I was going to reply to him, but then I decided, you know what? There's no point in replying.
Because the war is going exactly as I expected. The problem is poorly.
Yeah. But the thing is, Sirkanas, right? Like, the mistake people are making, and the Goyim do this all the time. They're like, oh, enough. It's only day 35. The world hasn't collapsed yet. I'm like, okay. you do realize that in all the simulations involving the Straits of Hormuz, it takes several months. Like, you're talking about 6 months, 7 months, 12 months, right? Like, why are you jumping up and down, bro? It's only been 1 month. Relax, bro. Right? Let it cook, as they say. Like, oh, enough. Why hasn't the beef been cooked yet? Right? Well, it's gonna be on the grill longer, bro. Let the beef cook. Right? So it's just funny. I mean, the Americans are behaving like fucking cattle. They're like, oh, I've not been affected. The only thing that has affected me is slightly higher gas prices. Everything will be fine. Stay the course. It's just another dumb Middle Eastern war. No, dude, it's not another dumb Middle Eastern war. It's the fucking final war of America, right? You just haven't figured it out yet. Like, you think that, oh, you know, Straits of Hormuz have been closed. America is an autarky. America is self-sufficient. Buddy, shut the fuck up, man. None of that is true. You're gonna get absolutely fucked. And it's not just like the gas and the oil prices going up. It's gonna be lack of food, lack of things in the supermarkets, and gonna be fucking lockdowns and like 12 other things. You're fucked, man.
Yeah, go ahead, third New Scotland, Nova Scotia, Tony, you're on the air.
No need to raise your hand, bro. No need to raise your hand, bro. Just talk when you want to talk. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I just didn't want to interrupt you guys, but thank you. And
No
good
worries.
day to all of you.
Good day, Sir Tony.
I wanted to ask Sir Cleveland if he had heard, because this is a very good illustration of his earlier point about the Allies will be turning. The Gulf, I believe it was the Gulf nations brought we want to reopen the Strait by force, right? And they brought this to the Security Council, I believe. And France joined with Russia and China to say no. And now it looks like the French-owned container ship is trying to go through the strait. So they got the carrot there, I think.
Yeah.
These nations that formerly believed in this illusion of invulnerability for both the U.S. and Israel, historically, when that illusion is shattered and the barbarians begin to realize Rome is largely undefended, it was all illusion, it was all a joke, it hasn't been real for many years. I think everybody in the world is going to come at them and start taking away their territories. They're going to take away their markets, and they are going to find themselves isolated and cut off from the rest of the world. After Iran has kicked the crap out of them, it's going to be worse than just a retreat. The United States is going to find that it can no longer exercise any power at a distance. People don't take it seriously. Yeah.
Sir Cleveland, the self-sufficient autarky, oh my gosh, we retreated across the ocean, Europe will take up the mess, America will stand alone, America, the autarky, self-sufficient will. None of that shit is true, man. I'm sorry, you're fucking
Europe's
coping,
not
right?
taking up the mess. Europe was a vassal state to the United States.
That's right.
That's always used as an insult, but it has a good, clear technical meaning. Vassal means, you pledge fealty to your liege lord. In exchange for that, your liege lord offers you some degree of protection. At this point, we have made it clear we can't open the Strait of Hormuz. Therefore, we've made it clear that, we're already making noises about we should disband NATO. Well, at that point, it's like, okay, guys, we're on our own. It looks like we need to start going, to Iran, to China, to Russia, and we need to start making deals, because if they decide to get antsy, well, it's pretty clear that America is completely fucking worthless at defending us.
Yeah, that's right.
And Nova Scotia, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, I see that hand is up again.
Sorry, that was just me. I didn't put it down.
Yeah, no worries.
You
don't have to raise your hand, bro. You don't have to raise your hand. Don't be so formal. Like, this is not a formal space, man. Don't raise your hand. Put your hand down.
No, yeah, I just I will do that. But I did want to just hit on it a little bit harder. Trump has just spent the last year berating the allies and telling them, fuck you, basically, and then clean up the mess that we've created. Well, you're driving the vassal right into the new, we're seeing it happen.
Yeah, the worst thing that could happen to us is if that French container ship makes it through the Strait of Hormuz and Iran says, no, my French allies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really the worst thing that can happen to the United States. at that point, it becomes clear, okay, we are in control of Hormuz. I mean, and so, you want to come through Hormuz, you need to make a deal with us. One big part of that deal is, you're not hostile. You are neutral to friendly.
Bring some baguettes back our way when you head back.
Well, I mean, Khomeini, if I recall correctly, spent decades in Paris. There's a fair number of Iranians who speak French and a pretty good sized French Iranian community in France. Now, I don't know if it's as big as Los Angeles, but it's like there is some stuff there. And
that's right, sir. I'm actually reading Stephen Kinzer's Overthrow right now, and he makes that very point about how the strong tie between Tehran and Paris.
The other thing that will make Iran useful, I read a bit of Khomeini's work, and I remember one of the first things that jumped out at me and very much surprised me was how influenced it is by Marxism. As I've learned more about Shia Islam, Shiites have frequently seen themselves as the underdog being overthrown by, a Sunni forces rather than or more precisely, by oppressive overlords. It's not surprising they would look at Marx and maybe they wouldn't buy into the, there is no God, we're all here on our own, but they would definitely buy into many of Marx's ideas about the way things are organized. That's a really big step towards being understood in Europe where, it appears that most of our neoliberal diplomats are pretty influenced by Marx, although not influenced in the redistribution of wealth sense.
Yeah. But yeah, like, in terms of, the point that I was making a few moments ago, whether it's the influence of Ardern, what have you, right? But the big cope right now, and you're gonna see this at least, probably by the end of April, early May, as things get really bad, right? You'll still rather see this cope, but it's gonna go away a little bit, at least. A little bit, right? But it's like, oh my gosh, man, the only thing that's gonna affect you is like slightly higher gas prices, but don't worry, man, stay the course, everything else will be fine. They still haven't figured out that this is a fucking depression, right? And it's gonna cripple America, and Americans are gonna starve, right? They still haven't figured this out. Yeah.
To your point, Sir Kenneth, top of the morning to you, gents, wherever you are in the world. But
good day.
To your
good
point,
day.
Let me relate to you a text I just sent my boss. My former boss. I work somewhere else now, but I might work under him later. But let me just relate to you quickly. I sent him this morning. I sent him a long screed that I've posted on Twitter and on Facebook, essentially calling for the U.S. to wake up to their reality. That they're being controlled by their Zionist overlords. And he sent back, I'll never get over watching the people of Palestine dance in the streets on September 11th, 2021, or 2011. One was even moonwalking for a CNN crew. Okay. I said, no mention of dancing Israeli. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's bullshit. No mention of dancing Israelis, huh? He said there was no dancing in Israel that day.
Bro, listen, man. Why the fuck do you care about what the cattle have to moo, man?
He's a good personal friend. That's my best friend's dad. That's what I'll have to say on that, real fast. Okay, and you're right though. You're absolutely right. But let me just relate the rest of it. It gets better. It gets much better. There was no dancing in Israel that day. And then he says, you've backed the wrong force. How did October 7th work out anyway? I said, no, they were in New Jersey. Look it up. Also, have you ever asked yourself why the media was showing you video from Palestine in the wake of 9/11? And then no response. And then I said, how are those diesel prices? And this guy is a hulak, right? He is a landscape business guy. Maybe he makes $250K a year. And he said, temporarily high, there's a war on.
Temporarily high.
A small price to pay for the heads of two Ayatollah. I said,
I don't know about that. Given a choice between the heads of two Ayatollahs and cheaper gas, I can't really fuel my tank with an Ayatollah's head.
Right.
The really funny thing, like, okay, I've heard enough mooing from the Goyim. Look, here's the thing about the Goyim. The Goyim are fucking cattle, alright? That's the first thing we gotta remember. They're fucking cattle. The second thing we gotta remember is they're incapable of basic inductive reasoning, right? Like, everyone is saying this crisis is temporary. They've not looked at what the energy ministers of Qatar, Kuwait, and all these other places, like, if you talk to them and you ask them that, okay, what's going on? They'll tell you, Iran has hit our refineries, our gas fields, our critical infrastructure. Okay. And then you ask them, how long is it going to take to repair these things? They'll tell you. They've told everyone already. It's going to take several years to replace and repair these things. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, maybe even longer. Oh, enough. Don't worry about it, man. What's the supply? Well, right now, I mean, presently, Iran hasn't destroyed everything, but right now, 8 million barrels are offline. Like, absolutely offline because it's been destroyed, right? The refineries have been destroyed. So that's around almost, 7, 8, 10% of global supply. This is not coming back for several years, my friend. Even if you wave a magic wand, the war ends tomorrow, and for some magic fairy tale reason, Iran gives you the oil and gas access, right? Which is not going to happen, right? But even if that's the case, you're offline by 7, 8, 10%. That's going to have impacts on food, on diesel, on like 50 other things across the economy. Oh, enough, we'll be fine if America retreats across the ocean. No, you won't, man. You're still headed towards depression. It's just that it takes a bit longer with the 8% deficit rather than like the 20-25%. By the way, just so we're clear, gents, Yemen's Ansarullah still hasn't blockaded the Bab el-Mandeb, right? They still haven't done it yet. So if they do, and they attack the Saudi pipeline, I think it's called Yanbu or whatever, right? That's another 8 million gone, man, right? So the current shortfall, which is like 25 million minus, right? Add in a minus 8 to that as well. So 105 minus 33.
But
yeah, there we go.
Sure enough, you've forgotten that the U.S. is going to retardedly strike Iran's oil infrastructure and or attack Karg Island. So that's another 2 million barrels off the market. You've forgotten that fact.
Karg Island is actually just a terminal. Iran has multiple terminals, so even if they attack Karg Island, nothing's going to happen. The Iranians have a very large country with distributed infrastructure, right? If you had to compare it, it's kind of similar to the Soviet infrastructure during World War II, which is like, okay, well, we blew up 100 factories, but they just moved their 100 factories to like the Urals, and the reason they did that was because a lot of these places, they just had a bunch of empty, abandoned factories to begin with that could be started up, right? Iran has something similar to that. The thing though is that, what was I going to say? The thing though is that, this is one of those situations where every time Iran's critical infrastructure gets hit, right? Iran can simply do more damage to the Gulf states, to Israel, and to America via destroying the infrastructure outright, via blockading the straits, via doing all these other things, right? Like, Sir Malcolm brought this up, but in the 2003 earthquake, Iran lost like 40,000 people in the earthquake. It's a big humanitarian disaster, 40,000 people. Well, okay, how many people have died so far? Well, 3,500, 4,000, something like that, civilians. It's like 10%, man, of that earthquake, right? And the Americans are already low on their high-end stuff. To use their medium and their low-end stuff, they gotta get in closer. And so the sortie rates are gonna become dog shit. You're gonna see more and more like helicopters and planes get shot down. Long story short, the maximum you could do is take this number, multiply it by 2. Let's be generous. Let's say that the Americans killed 10,000 Iranians. All right. Okay. Hey, enough. We won. We killed 10,000 Iranians and now we're going to retreat. And don't worry, man. America's going to become the superpower because Europe's going to take up the slack. Only Europe will be affected. America won't be affected. We are the superpower. We are autarky. We are self-sufficient, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, lots of smart people are like vomiting out this drivel, right? Just so you know. So they vomit out this drivel. I'm like, okay, you killed 10,000 Iranians. Iran's going to starve tens of millions of you. What are you talking about, enough? We're self-sufficient. We're autarky. Bro, they control the sulfur, the phosphate, and like 50 other things. They can fucking starve you. They're going to starve tens of millions of you. the mighty Americans who like murdered 20 million people after World War II. Iran can kill more than 20 million Americans, man. You still haven't figured it out. Do you realize what situation you're in? You're in the fucking, like, this is not just end of empire stuff. This is like slaughter stuff, right? Iran's gonna slaughter you, man. You still haven't figured this out, and you're still like running your mouth. This is so funny, man. It's just like watching this crap just makes me laugh. It's just like, oh, I'm invulnerable, and the guy bleeds out to death. It's just like, okay, sure, bro. Okay. It's just like, you watch this crap.
No, I
hear you. Like, yeah, you watch this crap and you hear the goyim, the cattle moo loudly about how amazing it is that they killed a bunch of Iranians, and I'm just like, yeah, this is just whatever, man. Okay.
Have you guys talked about the F-15?
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. I mean, honestly, man,
okay.
I think like the tactical stuff, like it's fun. It's fun to talk about and laugh about, but like the tactical stuff is a fait accompli. It's gonna happen more and more, right? It's gonna happen more and more, right? And you're gonna get used to seeing multiple jets and helicopters shot down. But like, I actually want to read something. Just FYI, the United States is a net food importer. So has anyone calculated the impact on the food supply? And this guy, Balaji, he was saying this in April of last year to talk about the tariff situation, right? So I think back then the Americans were importing like over $50 billion worth of food. I think now it's much worse, right? Okay. It's even worse than you think. Yeah. So Swamp Ghost has tagged me there. Okay. Thank you, good sir. But the issue people need to understand is that it's not just America's going to starve, but it's also going to be the vassals who starve. And when they starve, the very first thing that they're going to do is they're going to go, okay, we're starving. We got no gas. We got no food. We got to survive, right? And the way we survive is we put in export controls. And then if you tell them, hey man, you can't do that. You're a vassal. We are America. You gotta export stuff to us so that we can import it. I'm like, sorry, bro, I'm not gonna import to you because I'm gonna fucking starve. But that's against the law. That's against the agreement we signed. I'm like, force majeure, bro. We are in exceptional circumstances. I can't follow the law. Sorry, bro. Sorry, America, you're not getting the Sony chips from Japan. Sorry, America, you're not getting all the food that you import from, I don't know, 12 vassals, insert 12 vassals here. Sorry, America, I as Mexico can't give you my agricultural stuff, etc., 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 right? But that's what it is. I mean, it's just fucking funny watching this crap, right? Like, the Americans who love yapping and, like, running their mouths about, like, we are such powerful, like, they're a bunch of goyim, right? They moo like cattle, right? But they're like, yeah, we killed 15 million people after World War II. Look at how powerful we are. Yeah, Iran's gonna kill more than that, right? Iran is gonna kill more than that number. I'm just letting you know in advance, right? That's what's gonna happen, right? So, and you can moo loudly about it. You can be like, superpower this, autarky that, self-sufficient this, right? You're gonna get fucked. So, what happened to Sir Cleveland? All right, let me make it
still
speaker.
here.
He's
still here. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, Sir Cleveland, we killed 10,000 kids, but like we lost 20 million plus Americans to starvation because of what Iran did. But like the goyim, the cattle, they're still mooing loudly. They still haven't figured out the situation they're in, basically.
Well, we killed a lot more Vietnamese than Vietnamese killed us, but who won that war?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We killed a lot more Afghans than Afghans killed us. But who's in charge of Afghanistan now?
Yeah. All those wars, by the way, like all those wars, it's actually an illusion. Because like the Americans never fought by themselves. They always had allies. So in Vietnam, their allies were the South Vietnamese. In Afghanistan, it was the Afghan National Army. If you add up the local forces and the American casualties, you actually get like much, much lower discrepancy with ratios, right? In the case of Afghanistan, for example, the Taliban actually lost less people overall, right? I think in South Vietnam, it was South Vietnam versus North Vietnam. It was also much closer to like parity, right? So it's actually a big illusion. Like I ran the numbers the other day. If you add up like Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq 1 and Iraq 2, right? It's like 100,000 American dead, killed in action, 300,000 wounded, and like 10,000 amputees. And then you're like, okay, well, that looks very impressive. And then you factor in the American allies, and it becomes like 600,000 plus killed, 1.8 million wounded, etc., right? But that's it's an illusion. It's like,
and that Ahmed, that's exactly why the U.S. is flailing right now to find allies to go and try and fight its war, right, with it and for it,
and that's
whatever.
why the allies are generally telling America to go pound sand.
You just continue. Just continue speaking. I just gotta deal with something. Give me a second.
I'm really shocked that the Constitution has simply been abandoned, and the fear of the founding fathers that we would have a king who would simply declare wars of his own based on his own personal preference. This became a reality in Vietnam. You know, it was a huge war that was never actually authorized by Congress until it was over. And the idea that this whole thing, possibly one of the largest conflicts of all time in the Gulf, can be started with no balance of powers. They did not vote on this war in Congress, and they've established this right simply through repetition, that the president can declare a war without getting the consent of Congress. The founding fathers wanted to make sure that things like this would never happen. If you couldn't get a congressional vote, at least that's some control over the ambitions of the executive branch. But at this point, Trump has simply declared himself a dictator, and he's fired as chief of staff of the military in the army, and we are literally entered into a suicidal war purely at the beck and call of one man who was never supposed to have that much power. Even as executive leader of the military, Trump is supposed to be checked by Congress. There are no checks and balances anymore, and we're all going to find out why it was so important to the founding fathers to begin with, because they knew history and they knew lunatics like Trump always need a balance of power against their own control. But that's just gone to hell in the U.S.
They would have seen from history that when it gets to this point with like ridiculous leaders such as Trump, they surround themselves with sycophants and courtiers. That's all it is, right?
Not a single person got the guts to speak up. They're all scared. And the media, they're just sycophants. They also don't have the guts to say anything.
Well, they're also owned. They're also owned, Sir Cleveland, right? I mean, they're literal corporations.
Yeah. To the war. The people, the foreigners in control of our war policy themselves own the media. So alternate points of view cannot be aired, and the media is just cheering whatever decision that Trump makes, and he's acting as an agent of these foreign powers. The United States, for that reason, I don't really think it has a government anymore, not a real one.
No, not anywhere further. Oh, go ahead.
Now that Pam Bondi is out, I see like Chip Roy, a Republican senator, was like, Trump needs an AG that's going to go real hard after, he's the Democrats, essentially. I mean, what are the chances when this gets bad? I've said there being a coup. I'm wondering who wins that fight. And, is the Trump administration, this sounds kooky mainly because people have been screaming he's been planning to do it for years. But, is he thinking about getting a bunch of sycophants around him so that if things get bad and we start seeing a lot of social unrest, it's like, okay, this isn't working. Time to round up like our enemies.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even like, I don't think even that's going to happen. It's just going to be like, Pete Hegseth did this purge of like the 12 generals or whatever. We don't know the exact reason, but if we had to guess, it's probably because they said no to the ground invasion. Okay, so let's gameplay this out, right? So America tries to do a ground invasion with special forces, which are, light infantry, barely any equipment because you're trying to ship them in via air, right? They get massacred, right? And then, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a few months later, there's a coup. I mean, the coup is not going to amount to much, folks, because there's no money in the treasury left. right? The war is being lost. There's an economic depression. And other than that, most of the soldiers are going to mutiny because they're watching like videos of like FPV drones blowing up their comrades or whatever, right? Or so it's like, well, enough, who's going to take power? I don't think anyone's going to take power. I think it's just going to be like, like at the end of the Soviet Union, you had like how many coups? Like 5, 6, 7 coups. And they tried to like take power. And it was like a complete shit show, and the thing just fell apart. I think that we're headed towards that future, basically, with regard to this.
I mean, the best that America could hope for would be for someone who is actually intelligent and not controlled, aka Vladimir Putin, to take control of America at this point. Because you're looking at a first Chechen War scenario in that what you just laid out.
Vladimir Putin took control of Russia after over 7 million people perished to like deaths of despair, right? In American terms, that means like the population going down by like 20 million plus, right?
Correct. Exactly. And that's the best we can hope for.
Yeah, I mean, like, but even in that scenario, like Vladimir Putin took control of Russia. He didn't take control of the Soviet Union, right? So like the scenario you're talking about is, I don't know, Jorge Ramos, whatever the fuck, taking control of Texas or like California or whatever, right? It's not like, oh, Jorge Ramos takes control of America, population 300 million, down from like the 347 million or whatever, right? Like that's not what you're talking about, right? Even in that scenario. So, yeah,
that's interesting. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be Jorge Ramos or whatever the fuck. But like, this is bullshit, man. The thing that they're trying to do now is it's just, and I'll go back to my Saddam Hussein thing, right? But like, if you're if you're trying to copy fucking Saddam Hussein, who couldn't beat Iran in like 8 years of fighting this way, right? What the fuck are you doing, man? Oh dear.
Oh, they have no idea what a Cornet missile can do. I mean, you can look at southern Lebanon right now, right? Hezbollah still has the same kind of slightly tacky music, but every 3 hours they put out a video where they are either launching rockets, multiple launch, rocket systems, or hitting a tank with an ATGM or a mine or an FPV drone. It's very simple. This is what Iran will be on a scale probably times 5. So if you want to land ground troops, go ahead, but it's insane. It's literal insanity, and everyone knows this. That's why, Sir Cleveland, you mentioned they were firing the chief of the Army General Staff or whatever, the top general, because they made up an excuse. He wanted to promote 2 black and 2 whatever generals, right?
It's a stupid excuse. That's not the
reason, dumbest excuse I've ever heard.
That's for the goyim, man. Like that's the slop. That's the slop that they feed the goyim, right? Like,
they'll buy it too.
Yeah,
they know they'll buy these explanations. The real reason is the guy wasn't schizophrenic like they are.
Yeah,
he realized, hey, there's limits to American power, and he got fired for it. He lost his job because he wasn't crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
Can I just take a slight diversion back to, I love the music in those videos. Like, I know it is cheesy.
I enjoy it. It is cheesy, but I enjoy it, yeah.
Makes you want to stomp your foot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like there was an Austrian corporal who signed up with the German, forces in World War I, and then he rose to power, and then he, against the clear advice of all of the top Prussian generals of, probably the top general corps of all time, went into Russia, and they all told him, this is absolutely retarded. You don't know what you're doing. And he fired them one by one if they stood up to him. It's almost like that's playing out right now.
It's more fake and gay than that, because like, at least that guy, he served in like World War I in the trenches and got hit by poison gas or whatever. Like, this is like what? So what did you say, Sir Cleveland, with regard to Hexet?
Hexet has been in so many incidents where it's obvious the guy is unstable. He's an alcoholic, and he should have never been promoted, much less be put in charge of the military. That was crazy. I don't know what else they've got on him. I wouldn't be surprised if, like Trump, he may have some involvement with Epstein, because they apparently thought, well, whatever he's done, we can trust him not to spill the beans, and that's how he got in that job.
Yeah.
So Sir Cleveland, something I found actually just last night. I did a little deep dive on Hegseth, and in that search, I found that there is one Steve Feinberg, and he is the Deputy Secretary of War.
Right.
And Steve Feinberg is an interesting fellow. He served as a CEO of multiple defense industrial companies, and he also was like a big hedge fund guy. And at one point, he actually threatened his, I guess, his investors that if you ever put a photo of me or a photo of like our operations or my like home address online, we will kill you. And this is like documented. This is on his Wikipedia page, for heaven's sakes. So just an interesting coincidence that the guy behind Pete Hegseth, who is a 45-year-old alcoholic, is one Steve Feinberg. So yeah.
How much you want to bet? This is very common nowadays. They have some unstable goyim who's sleeping in a cardboard box they find, and they make him the front man. He's the front man for all intents and purposes. They'll tell the goyim that this guy's in charge. He's like you. He's one of you. But you notice the man standing immediately behind him is basically the servant of a foreign nation, acting in the interests of a foreign country. But they like to put a goyim up front to give people confidence that they still have leadership of their own. But most leadership, the real leadership that they won't admit to, that traces its back to Israel. They traces back to their interest and their policy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. All the way back to Paul Wolfowitz.
Yep.
And even further back.
Yep. I feel like all of these guys, they were put up there because we already know we're going to make this guy the front man. We've got to have something on him. He can never afford to tell the truth. We got to have something so ugly on him. So when you look at what is publicly available on Hegseth, I reckon that's not how they keep their grip on him. It points to some other secret that's much worse than the things you've heard about.
I think, Sir Cleveland, even in that scenario, like at this point, right? And let's just say in a month or two, right? When gas prices are at $4, $5, $6, probably $5 a barrel in like 6 weeks. And, I'm sorry, $5 a gallon. And, you know, diesel is up to like 6.5, $7. Even like no matter what, a rational actor who has agency, any type of agency, would actually, they would come and tell the truth to the American public. They'd say, look, we made this mistake. We're going to do X, Y, and Z policy. Like Lyndon Johnson, right? He at least to his credit, though I despise him in some ways, he did say, look, I'm not running for another term. And same with Nixon. He said, look, I want to get out of Vietnam. Like, we used to have some leadership, right? That wasn't just goy cattle. Nowadays, you have people who have been morally corrupted. I don't think it's just blackmail. I think blackmail is part of it, but I think they've been morally and spiritually corrupted to the point where they're going along with this train into hell, and they're gonna ride it.
No, it's all Biden's fault, don't you know?
Iranian state TV.
Jesus Christ.
We've got to pivot to. Oh, sorry, Adolf.
Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Iranian state TV. Whoever captures the American pilot alive will receive a valuable reward. Thank you very much. All right. There we go. The hunt is on.
Oh, man. Oh. Can you imagine the videos that are going to come? I mean.
Well, that will maybe be, I think, going back to what Sir Cleveland was saying, it'll be fuel in the tank for the war economy. We have to cut your Medicare so that we can build a 2027 war economy.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about the budget? The White House proposed budget?
$1.5 trillion, and he's like,
well, not just and also a 10% cut in non-military funding, or like whatever. Like they're planning on cutting the entire federal government by 10%.
Yeah, sure they will, bro.
Al Jazeera reported this.
Sure they will.
This is the proposed budget, but like they're literally telling you No medicine for you,
healthcare,
and more bombs for the corrupt.
No medicine, no healthcare. We are gonna do a quote-unquote war economy. The hilarious thing is that most of the jets that they're still flying around doing these dog shit sorties, they've been like 50, 60, 70-year-old airframes. Like, the manufacturer went bankrupt 20, 30 years ago. Enough, $1.5 trillion. Completely meaningless, bro. The manufacturers are bankrupt. The factories don't exist.
I'm laughing so hard about dog shit sorties because they're probably going to have to literally be dropping dog shit when they run out of ammunition.
They're probably gonna, but like the point I was making was that $1.5 trillion, even if you had a zero, 15 trillion, right? It's meaningless because like there's no factories, there's no fucking manufacturers. The airframes are fucking ancient, right? And it's like, if we just throw enough money at the problem, the factories are going to sprout up. Hey man, if we just give Qatar $100 billion, the refinery that was blown up by Iran 5 days ago, right, they can rebuild it in 2 weeks. That's not how this works, man. I'm sorry. That's not how this works.
But it is how it works in Manifest Destiny. Gotta remember that.
The Goyim are gonna moo loudly, man. It is what it is, right? Like, Brother Naji was like talking about what the Goyim was saying to him at the beginning of the show. I'm like, okay, man, I've heard enough Goyim mooing. All right, like this.
I remember you saying to me last week, I was explaining a similar situation of who I was talking to, and you were like, "Yep, some Goyim moo that," and I've been thinking of that all week.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. I didn't even get to the best part.
Bro,
I didn't even get to the best part of that.
Why are you in the fucking Goyim plantation, man? Just go back to Pakistan. America's
look,
gonna fucking starve, man.
Pakistan is also. Let's not lie here, okay? And we don't need to make a show about Pakistan, for heaven's sakes.
I'm not lying.
But no. I know.
Pakistan,
you're not lying, but I just mean Pakistan.
Better. Right? Better is relative.
Okay.
Better is relative, right? When I use the word better, it doesn't mean it's gonna be fucking, like, Bangladesh.
It means less worse.
Less worse. That's what that word means.
What
that word means, right? But like, enough, like, the autarky, self-sufficient, blah, 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 retreat across the ocean and we'll be fine. This cope that the Goyim are mooing right now, and it's clever, intelligent, smart people. Some of them have been on this show. Right? And they're mooing this crap. And I just laugh. I'm like, there's no point in even responding to this crap, right? You just like, it's April right now? Just wait till like July, August, September and see what happens.
So let me just finish, just even though I know, your blood pressure is going to rise, Sarafnaf, let me just finish the comment I sent to him.
I just laugh at this shit. Yeah.
Okay. My man, I appreciate that. Actually, that's a lesson for all of us because my blood pressure does go up and down when I see some of this retardation. But honest to God, and I'm only 32. I'm still a young man. Okay.
You're certified.
My boss sent something.
You're certified UNC, UNC, UNC.
I do my thing. He responded with something. He was trying to troll me, something personal. Mm-hmm. Because, we're good friends. He's, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I just responded. I said, your concern should be in 1 month, you will have 10% less business 1 month from today.
Oh, yeah.
In 4 months, you will have 30 to 40% less business. And by fall, you may not be in business. That's what I sent back to him. And then I said, again, with respect. And he hasn't responded. And,
they have
we'll see.
They have
no
happens. Idea. Like, explaining this stuff to them, like, because they're a bunch of Goyim, the only view they have is America in the 19th century. Powerful, autarkic, self-sufficient. They have no idea that if the global economy collapses, tens of millions of Americans starve to death. Right? They have no concept of this, right? Like, in the year 2026, right, you don't have a bunch of Americans who are like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to my family farm and, like, fucking till the land. Dude, he lives in the fucking city. He drives to fucking grocery store that's like 5 blocks away, right? He's got no fucking skills. Like, you think this guy knows how to farm?
But in a sense, he thinks that he is because, self-made business landscape, if I'm taking you correctly, Brother Naji.
Yes, exactly correct.
So he thinks of himself in that bootstrap way, I imagine,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That.
So, Cleveland, how many people will die from the incoming famine? What do you think? Oh, so Cleveland is, I don't know what went on there, but anyhow.
I think it's going to be,
there we go.
I think it's going to be upwards of 100 million people in 10 years.
Oh, yeah. That's very
The
much.
first year, people will think, oh, this isn't going to continue. It's a temporary shortage because of the Iran war. The second year, when so many distribution chains have collapsed, they're going to think, well, somebody will pick up the slack. I mean, it's been quite a while, and I'm getting pretty hungry. But I mean, it's bound to bounce back, isn't it? It's inevitable. By 3 years out from now, people are going to realize the U.S. has collapsed, and the famine is just one sign of that collapse. And things are never, ever going back to the way they did before. And in 10 years, half the population, the native population, will probably be dead. I really believe that. That's what I've been getting ready for the past 20 years. And I knew when I came back to the United States, that might be what I'd be coming back to.
And once that starts happening, like the backlash on any of those leaders who are currently in power, if they're still alive at that point, that's going to be ugly.
Tasneem.
I think there'll be a lot of revenge attacks. But they're not going to do any good. It's not going to end the famine. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people dragged in the street and hanged, and it won't change anything. It's just all reactive, as I've said before, to enough. Reactionaries can rarely change their lives because all they do is wait and then react. That's no good.
Tasneem News Agency citing local officials in Khuzestan province. By the way, Khuzestan is the only part of Iran which is like relatively flat, right? It's where like Saddam Hussein was doing all this thing. Okay.
That's majority auto.
No helicopter landing operation by hostile forces took place, right? So basically they fired, they downed a bunch of helicopters, I think one or two of them, and the remaining ones fired a bunch of flares and they escaped. That's basically what happened, right? So just total American humiliation per usual, right? I don't know. They'll probably fire missiles at a daycare or a fucking like bridge or something, right? But you know, America, But bro, America in the 21st century, like this is all they are. It's a bunch of goyim, it's a bunch of cattle, right? Like at home, domestically, they spout random nonsense about self-sufficiency, autarky, superpower. Europe will be more fucked than us. And like abroad, what do? That's the domestic situation. And abroad, what do? They fly a bunch of helicopters in using refuelers, and the helicopters get shot down. That's all this is, man.
So two quick points. One, if we keep this episode going long enough, if we do one of the famous 5-hour episodes, it's more than likely that we'll get more breaking news about the pilot being actually captured. The second thing is, again, people who live in the West, Canaz, me, Sir Nova Scotia, others, like, we are surrounded by people who are completely disengaged from foreign policy, and it's maddening. At least to me, it's completely maddening. And
idiots.
Was it like this in the Roman?
Idiots.
Wait, exactly. What was it like this in like the Roman Empire when you had a literal world empire where the people in Rome completely disengaged from the provinces? Like, I don't think they were that retarded. I mean,
the people in Rome lacked a certain delusion that is really a huge part of the Western consciousness and pretty much central to the American consciousness, is the idea that they actually had a say in how their government functions.
Yeah, exactly.
I would argue, we don't really have any more control over our politicians than the average Roman citizen had over the emperor.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd also note the emperor referred to himself,
saying,
as first among equals. That was like, he was very careful, I am not a dictator. I listen to the people. They had the same pose, but I mean, I don't think the difference being, it's like the old joke about the Russians who say, yes, we have very good propaganda system. But you Americans, you are much better than we are. And the American says, what are you talking about? We don't have propaganda. And the Russian smiles. I mean, it's the same thing. We have this illusion that, our strong opinions matter and that we are entitled to have a say in what our government does. I mean, this should be something that anybody with an IQ higher than a hard-boiled egg should be able to figure out. But it's really a core part of our mythology.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I would say even up like in Canada, like we've swallowed the pill of growth and expansion forever. Amen. Right. So that's just not the case.
Yeah, that's also that's the other side of the coin. It's like you can have, retardation at work. It can be fomented from within by various ethnic groups with their bizarre ideologies, but the second you actually hit a limit on growth and it slows down or it collapses, then the whole society is going to turn inward and say, what the hell is going on? And then you're going to get the big Rwanda, as Sarah Ahnaf likes to call it.
Yeah. Okay, breaking news. Aria J. Unverified images. Okay, so we gotta wait for this verification, but unverified images show that an American helicopter was directly hit by Iranian air defenses, waiting for more confirmation and sourcing. Okay, this was 4 minutes ago. Yeah, I mean, I think what the Iranians are doing, Sir Cleveland, is they intentionally released a bunch of photos from like the F-15 that they shot down a few hours ago. And the Americans who saw that, they're like, oh, look, the ejector seats are not in the ruins of the photo. So what we should do is we should send in our Blackhawks or whatever to like rescue the pilot. I think the Iranians did it on purpose, right? And like as Sir Cleveland loves to say, this is the difference between like 104 IQ nation fighting like a 94, right? But that seems to be what's happening here with regard to like they're just luring them in.
Yeah. You know what? I thought the exact same thing enough. I thought it's like the Vietnamese in that war, where they would shoot one of them, wound one soldier, and leave him in the open screaming for help, so they could get another 10 to come to his rescue. And I reckon the Iranians are so cunning, they know we can draw in a bunch more helicopters. They're probably on the radio telling them, send more helicopters.
Guys, you can see this. I mean, this has happened for 2.5 years in Gaza, right? Hamas they would hit a position, they would hit a tank or whatever, and then you would hear big security incident, massive security incident, right? And then 30 minutes later, you would see, another security incident. And then 15 minutes later, another, right? They would just wait for them. They've been doing this in southern Lebanon as well. They hit these folks because they know the West can't take casualties. And then they wait, and then they ambush the rescuing force and destroy that too. And then there's a tertiary rescuing force, and then they hit that too.
They call it the hat trick.
Now, G, I wanted to answer your question about the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Sure.
So there were men that stood up in the Roman Senate, just like us, who apparently knew what was going on. And to paraphrase, they said, "Are you people high? We haven't even paid the mercenaries from our previous battles when we ran out of troops of our own. We have mercenaries who are owed money, and these people are very dangerous. If they don't get it from Rome, they're going to come in here and take it. They're going to take it out of our ass." So there were men who not only knew that Rome was overextended in a ton of battles, which they had loaned money to be able to pay mercenaries to conduct for them. These Romans were talking about starting new fronts and opening new fronts. Marcus Aurelius, he was elected in desperation, and Aurelius told him, let's just try to win one battle. And when they weren't doing too good on the fringe, he personally went to the outside of Rome, the outside border, and conducted the war himself against a barbarian tribe that was stealing a lot of Roman territory. And Marcus Aurelius died out there, trying to lead that one battle to victory. Meanwhile, the whole edge of Rome was eroding. And again, a person who wasn't insane would know this is a time to quit waging wars and just try to survive. But instead, the Roman Senate was arguing over what new war that should be funded, which new territory they should try to capture, and they couldn't even hold on to what they have. And shortly after that, of course, the Teutonics, who had been put together as a fighting force by those mercenaries who were owed money, They went down into Rome and they absolutely looted the place to the furnishings and beheaded Romans in the streets who were coming from orgies and feasts and didn't even know what was happening. Just gigantic 6 foot tall men came running up and lopped their heads off in between the orgies. And
Jesus
the
Christ.
parallels to the United States are so incredible because the United States is basically a porno nation where all natural relationships between men and women barely even exist, much like Rome. The family structure has collapsed. It barely even exists. The United States is a nation of single mothers. This is the wrong time for your candy ass to go be picking a fight against the Iranians, who are very hard men, aggressive, realistic, pragmatic, who've been getting ready for this war for the past 50 years. And it just seems like the Roman Empire with different actors. Same play, just a repeat of the last one.
Oh yeah.
They think they'll be safe in their gated communities and on their military bases.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But throughout human history, including at Rome and Macedonia, you'll find evidence of people just like us who said, are you people stopping to think about what you're doing? This is crazy. You're going to destroy yourselves. Human race never changes. And just as now, they make the same stupid mistakes again and again at the end of empires. We should have never been an empire to begin with, but some men thought they were clever and had other ideas. We're now going to see how empires finish up.
Yeah.
I appreciate that answer, Sir Cleveland. That was a fantastic answer.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And Sir Kenaz for answering
Nice.
that.
Nice. All right, let me read this thing. Okay. Garaman AT. U.S. forces do not have the means for a proper ground invasion of Iran, not even in half a year. All they have there right now are some brigades of Marines and paratroopers. This is not enough for something serious, not even to take and hold an island. The whole preparation was a PR gag, and most of the transport planes you saw on different channels were sent to rescue U.S. citizens and military out of the war zone near Iran. That is why some generals were fired, and that is why the clown-in-chief posted so much desperate shit lately. He has lost the war. Yeah, I mean, just because something is fucking retarded doesn't mean Trump's not gonna try it, right? So he might actually still try to land paratroopers and shit. He might try to invade, quote-unquote, Khuzestan, right? But, the Iranians will let them into Khuzestan, and okay, fine, they go into Khuzestan a little bit, and suddenly, the mountains open up, right? From, up there, right? So you're down there in elevation terms, they're up there, and they're gonna fire at you from, the high ground, right? So, okay, America, if you want to do that, go on right ahead.
Yeah, and we also can't discount we heard the Ahmad Special Forces from Chechnya are saying if U.S. invades Iran proper, we're going to help them. They're some of the finest soldiers on earth, whatever you want to think of. Ramzan Kadyrov, I have my critiques of him. And you also have the Afghan Taliban saying, we have all this. I think Sir Malcolm, a long time ago, talked about the surplus of soldiers, the surplus of young fighting age men, and how that kind of messes with society. Yeah. So you have, Taliban who are doing paperwork in offices and lamenting their lives now. They're like, we signed up to fight and run around mountains and have adventures, and now we're doing paperwork, for heaven's sake, right? We're doing traffic ticket duty. We need some, so they need some kind of a pressure valve release. So yeah, you have people who are absolutely fundamentally aware of what the U.S. Air Force does and is capable of, and they'll flood into the region. So yeah, it's not great.
And the Americans just keep going. The idea of invading Iran was crazy at the outset. Then it was Karg Island. Now he's talking about dropping excavators and building a runway to get
that shit can't be real, bro. Well, is that real?
I think that's real, man. I think that's real. I think the reason it's real. I think the reason it's real is because Trump has watched so many movies. He just thinks that you can take a bunch of cargo planes who have 30,000 cubic foot of max capacity and you can just dump a bunch of civilian excavators in an active war zone. I think
You
he
just
actually
attach
believes
a
that.
parachute to the excavator and let it float down.
This motherfucker needs to watch Black Hawk Down then, alright? He needs to fucking
Okay, but
watch
there's
Black
like
Hawk
10
Down.
other movies he can watch after that. The thing is, right, like, Hollywood brain is like this. Like, oh, enough, autarky, self-sufficient America. Like, this brainwashing, it never stops, man. Right? Like, the powerful Tom Clancy or whatever the fuck, or like, Mission Impossible. Like, dude, the American military is a fucking joke, right? If you go to any of these places and you talk to the soldiers and you ask them, why did you join? Here are the kinds of answers they give you. Oh, I joined to get the free food. Oh, I joined to pay for my college tuition. Oh, I joined. Oh, yeah. Oh, I joined because my mom wanted me to. Right? Like, this is not the world's deadliest fighting force, man. I'm sorry, right? But
brother,
this is
to Brother Najee's point, is this real? Breaking Points was reporting yesterday they had footage from San Diego. Someone had captured like this train just moving so much heavy equipment, excavators, bulldozers. Now that doesn't mean that that's going to what Trump's crazy fucking plan is, but it is like you don't see a lot of that movement often.
Yeah. I hear you. Do you guys want to know a fun fact? I just looked up on Google.
Go for it, man.
So it turns out that, let's see, Boeing builds how many F-15s per month? What do you guys think?
0.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, 0.
Okay. Well, you're very close. I think, this says 1 F-15 per month, but it's Yahoo News.
Listen. It's 0. It's not 1. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna use basic inductive reasoning to explain to you why it's not 1, why it's 0, right? Okay.
Juked.
Yeah. The F-15, right? The F-15 was manufactured 1972 to 1997. All right. The manufacturer, right? McDonnell Douglas, all these other guys, right? The manufacturer still kind of sort of exists, right? But it has been, 29 years? So when they say, oh, we manufacture one of these a year, or like a month rather, what they're actually saying is, every month, one of our dudes goes to the junkyard, picks up one of these shitty planes we stopped manufacturing in our production run in 1997. We take the shitty plane back to our warehouse or whatever. We strip it down, see what parts it is we can use, and then we just use it as feedstock, and then we repair something else, right? Like, like those Frankenstein movies where you've got 2 dead corpses.
Yeah.
You've got 2 dead corpses and you try to make one of them live or whatever the fuck by cannibalizing the other corpse. That's how they can publish on that thing. Oh, we produce one of these a month, bro. No, you fucking don't, man. You're going to the junkyard. That's what you're doing.
What's the realistic production number for them, do you think? And how many have
0,
they
man.
lost so far? Seems like a lot.
The realistic number is 0, man. Just use the numbers.
They've lost. Yeah. I hear you, Afnaf, and I appreciate that analysis.
Yeah.
You're correct, I think. The real number is they've lost.
It's common
officially
sense,
4.
Bro, it's common sense. It's people call it analysis. It's fucking common sense, right? Like, okay, enough. This car was manufactured and it stopped manufacturing 30 years ago because that's what it says in the production run. But don't worry, man. We're still producing one of these a month. I'm like, you're fucking lying, man. You're going to the junkyard. You're picking up the car and you're doing this bullshit to write down. You can figure this out with high school knowledge. You can use high school knowledge and you can figure out, okay, this guy is saying he produces this thing, but the production run literally says it stopped producing in 1997. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
They did this in Vietnam where they lost 1,000 soldiers and you didn't find out about it until 10 years after the war was over.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
When you've seen these bases so far that were caught by surprise, and the whole thing was just a gigantic fire and a crater. I've seen photos. To believe that the several hundred people stationed there, in some cases 1,000 soldiers, that they all made it out alive is kind of silly, you know?
Yeah.
It looks like they were probably in their beds when the whole place got vaporized by incoming Iranian drones and missiles. So I suspect it's well into the thousands. And after today, it could be into the 10,000s. But we'll have to wait and see when they're ready to be honest, which may not be years before this is over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like right now, what I expect is that they're just gonna fucking lie about casualty numbers and all these other things, right? But eventually, right, if you get like, okay, well, SEAL Team 6 or some other bullshit thing, and it's like, oh, we're gonna land in the fucking mountains and try to grab the nuclear material by force, then you're gonna see them getting yeeted by drones and whatever on video. At that point, yeah. Like Susie Wiles, I don't know if you gents know Susie Wiles. She's like the chief of staff or whatever. Right, like she was, I think Wall Street Journal or one of these mainstream outlets was saying that Susie Wiles actually wants Drumpf to be more transparent with the casualty numbers, and she's being rebuffed by everyone else, right? Because like their point is that, well, the emperor has to be pleased with like all the success we're having in Iran, so we can't have that. So yeah, Susie Wiles is probably gonna be out within the next few days and weeks, right? But it's a shit show, guys. It's a shit show, right? It's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Let me quickly relate a story to that Susie Wiles point. Let me relate a story. Mm-hmm. I remember I was in 6th grade. I think I was 10 years old. Mm-hmm. I was a little young for my grade, mm-hmm. and I had an art teacher. So I went to this middle school. I had this art teacher, and she was relatively pro-Bush, like fairly neocon. And the Iraq war had just kicked off like a year before. Mm-hmm. And she said to me something, and I was politically active even at that age. I was autistic, you know what I mean? I mean, autism knows no age. But I remember talking to her about, hey, there's a lot of casualties. Like, do you know about this, like, Battle of Fallujah and all of this? And she was like, well, show me the numbers, like the Iwo Jima numbers, show me like dead bodies on a beach, and I was like, that's insane, lady. Like, and that's what we're doing right now. Like, you have these boomers and all these people. They're like, if it's not completely, clear to the American public with like photos of like dozens of dead Americans strewn on a beach, like, then it doesn't really matter. And it's like, well, look how that worked out for you.
If you can't find a source on the internet, it's not true.
The hilarious thing is that there's two main vectors, right? The first vector that they use is local troops. So Afghan National Army, South Vietnamese Army. The local troops act as the meat shield. The Kurds do this a lot, right? The meat shield acts as its role, rather, and then they soak up the dead, the wounded, and the amputees. That's the first method. The second method is, you're a contractor / mercenary. So, you got blown to bits? Well, you don't really exist, so you don't really count, right? And so, using those two vectors, America can massage its, like, casualty numbers, right? But the problem with massaging casualty numbers is that it makes the situation worse, because it's like, you're like a child, you're like a long-distance runner, rather. You're trying to do long-distance running, but you're having, like, internal bleeding, right? And your muscles are getting turned to mush. And then you go to the washroom and you piss, and the piss is like Coca-Cola color, right? So what that means is your muscles have been like vaporized inside you and you're pissing it out, right? Like when America fudges the casualty numbers and they are being unrealistic and they give you fake casualty numbers, rather, as they are presently, that's what they're doing, folks, right? They are fucking themselves up. And like this thing that happened like 1 or 2 hours ago, with like the F-15 getting shot down by Iran just like goading them in, and like now they're shooting down helicopters and these other rescue teams or whatever the fuck, right? You're gonna see more and more of this shit happen. Because like, we only lost 15 people and only 300 wounded. Obviously, those fucking Iranian savages can't do anything to us, right? And more Americans are gonna get killed, and more of this shit's gonna happen until they bleed to death, basically, right? Like this is the situation right now.
I mean, welcome to the world of AI. If you don't like these, I mean, it's not even a matter of show me the bodies. We can show you the bodies and you can insist, well, that's obviously generated by Grok.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like we've put our heads are so far up our own posteriors that we really, you can't convince somebody who doesn't want to be convinced.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, reality has become pick and choose.
I think Bibi's been dead for weeks, and yet he still takes part in the war with the miracle of AI. I don't think he's existed for 3 weeks. He probably haven't even recovered his body yet. But these are the wars of the future where you can be losing. With the help of AI, you can tell people you're actually winning. And it's right out of 1984, where the troop reports that they saw in the cinema was always fake and fabricated and trick photography. And from week to week, they weren't even quite sure what the battle was about or who they were fighting, but they always gave the impression they were winning and were going to even increase the chocolate ration. And I see that now as fulfilled in modern times with AI.
Oh, what a shit show, gents. What a shit show. I'm just seeing what else is popping up in my feed. You gents, if you find anything interesting, let me know. But yeah, it's going to be very, very funny. Unconfirmed images, local Iranian media.
How many, while you scroll, how many of us thought this would go on for 35 days plus, right? I think we're on 35 days. I think most of us did. Did anyone have any?
I think I said at the beginning.
I kept thinking Trump is bluffing. He's not going to really send ground troops in. He's just being a troll, and he's just trying to scare them into getting to the negotiation table. And I thought, but I mean, he wouldn't really send the ground troops in because nobody's that stupid. And here we are, he's sending them in.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's just the thing is, Trump may have been bluffing, but, it's like H.L. Mencken said, any idiot can start a war just like any idiot with a key can open a tiger cage. The problem isn't, you bluffed this, you were like, well, we're going to hit Iran hard and we're going to scare them. Oh, wait, they're not scared. They're shooting back. Oh, wait, they're shooting at our allies. Oh, wait, they blew up our bases. Now what do we do? And Trump is in a zugzwang situation. He doesn't have every move he makes here makes the situation worse.
Yeah. Including the move where he says, hey, we won, now let's retreat. In that scenario, Sir Kenaz, what happens is Iraq takes Kuwait, Iran becomes toll booth operator, right? Starves America and the West, right? Israel gets pummeled to dust, and the Gulf monarchies, they're toppled, right? And if they're toppled, Sir Kenaz, America's not getting that stuff.
And not a second too soon, I would add.
Yeah. This is a shit show, guys. It's Zugzwang is a scenario where, again, every move, as Sir Kenaz was saying, including the move where you try to retreat, right? So,
is there a move where the Americans just respect their?
It's not going to happen, man. No, because they started the war.
Not for a generation at least. Not for a generation.
Not ever. Because they martyred His Eminence Ali Khamenei, who's a descendant of the Prophet, peace be upon him, right? So because of what they did on February 28th, 1,000 years from now, in the deindustrial wasteland, descendants of the post-American statelets are gonna get hunted down, right? That's literally what Trump did on February the 28th, right? But that's for them to figure out 1,000 years later. But
that always amazed me that they seem to know so little about the real world. They didn't realize these Iranian guys have different psychology, and part of conducting any military campaign against them would be to try to understand that psychology to foresee all the things that have happened. But they think these guys are just Americans, fresh back from McDonald's with a Big Mac in their hand and mainly motivated by porn and entertainment. And they're not. The Iranians are deeply religious people. They're highly intelligent. actually more intelligent now than the Americans were on average in the 1950s. These are Persians. They are not just your regular run-of-the-mill desert traders, not at all. These are Persians, and they are very dangerous. They've always been like this in military matters. But the
Correct.
Americans seem to give it all so little thought. They figured, they care about their lives more than they care about their faith, about their God, or about their religious principles. And then we put a little pressure on them and they'll just surrender. Turns out that was a bad plan.
I'm thinking about writing to Prime Minister Carney and asking him, like, we should send a nice gift basket to the Iranians, like maple syrup, and like, let's make nice here.
Oh yeah.
People are going to be making nice because, people tend to make nice with the biggest kid on the block. And that used to be America. America picked a fight. America is losing the fight. You're going to see people people who aren't Americans are going to have a much warmer view of Iran, and they're going to have much better relations with Iran than we currently see. I mean, that's just inevitable.
I never know where they thought they were going to get the men to wage this war. America is a nation of single mothers, a large percentage of whom earn a living through OnlyFans. So they don't have the family units like you would have in Iran to produce serious military people with a devotion to duty and country. The groundwork is just not present in the U.S. They're a Rudy-proof country of candy-ass people, and they should have never started this in Iranians, because I reckon the Iranians in the end are going to show themselves as the better men when it's over.
Well, I would just add so when you look at what the Zionists are doing in Israel, they are going full Nazi. I mean, they're even worse than the Nazis, to be honest. Like, the Nazis, gave a little bit of food to keep, a labor force alive. These people are starving, slaughtering, butchering. They're going full insane mode. And I think there was, this was my fear, is that Trump and the Groypers, and the young, America Firsters were becoming so ethnically focused that my fear was maybe they actually will become full retard SS type guys who are we're gonna kill and destroy for the empire and Nietzschean will to power. But it turns out none of that is real, and they're extending the age of recruitment to 42 or whatever, and the average IQ of the soldiers has been dropped, so you can get into the military. I think Sir Malcolm in his recent podcast with Angela Nagel and her compatriot said they lowered the average IQ to 75 or something. So that's where
you can be mentally retarded, and I'm sorry, I'm not using it as a slur. I mean, that's literally considered mildly mentally retarded. And, it's well, how smart do you have to be a soldier? Well, I mean, are you smart enough to be able to follow complicated maneuvers on the ground?
I wonder if the Zoomer generation will take more of a class-based analysis, once they've gone through that.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will. There's no doubt in my mind.
Did you guys
There's no
see this Representative Jeff Van Drew, Republican from New Jersey, on Americans struggling with rising prices? Maybe get yet another job, he says.
Jesus Christ. I mean...
Yeah, they're just working very, very hard to, alienate everybody. Do you want tumbrils? Or do you want guillotines in the town square? This is how you get them.
Those are only for Palestinians.
Right. So this is almost... So here's my issue right now. I've been scrolling Twitter late at night. I end up in some hyper anti-Semitic, threads. Okay, I have critical thinking. I can think about these things, but there is like a thought that there's some kind of like a hyper supremacist, Kabbalistic, bizarro world where like the Israelis have to do, or the Jews have to do like tremendous evil to turn God's wrath on them, and then God's wrath will cleanse their society, and then they'll come back, or like the Messiah will come, and then like they'll be able to take over the earth or something. Like, I'm sorry, but everything I've seen for the last 2.5 years mirrors exactly that insane anti-Semitic, whatever you want to call it, philosophy.
And
like it seems
from
they use transgression as a means of group solidarity. They haven't had enough persecution for a long time, and however pathological, this is the way they bond together. They need people to hate their guts. And obviously they're working pretty hard at it right now. The thing is, why do the American people have to join in this psychodrama, this crazy, I guess, I don't know what you'd call it, this schizophrenic madness where they need persecution and they have to destroy things in order to pull together as a group. This is the problem of these gypsies. Why is it our problem? And obviously, the Americans have joined in on this delusion and played along with them this whole time. They're going to find out that there's a very high price to be paid for playing into Jewish fantasy about the world. If they listen to what Scripture says about Jews, instead of listening to what Jews say about Scripture, they would have never gotten in this place that they are now. But the official worship of the Jewish people in place of God is now the state religion of the United States.
Yeah, that's deep. That what Jews say about Scripture instead of what Scripture says about Jews is.
They had to decide between God, what God says to them in Scripture, or what Jews say about what that Scripture means. They chose the Jewish interpretation, and it's madness, Once you've bought into that whole dispensationalist, we have to make prophecy come true thing, you are in a schizophrenic world of madness. And chances are none of your plans are going to turn out the way you hope. The reality, of course, is being the supreme being, no one's going to force God's hand. He'll make prophecy come true when he feels like it. The idea that we can force God to work on our timeline, it's part of that Jewish madness.
There's an analog to Islam here where ISIS had so there's I'm not sure if it's a confirmed hadith. I think it's and a hadith is just a saying of the Prophet, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said there's potential that there was a hadith where he said the fires will rage from Dalbeek, which is a small, tiny village in northern Syria, all the way to, I forget, Mecca or Jerusalem or something. And so ISIS made it their like goal to seize Dalbeek in northern Syria. And they did that, but they also picked a fight with, pretty much the entire world, and they were destroyed, and they were slaughtered. And so like it's just an interesting, like when you think you can reckon with God's timeline, it's like, dude, you're just a human being. You barely even can perceive the bounty and glory of God, right? Like barely. I mean, we're lucky to even have like have like the ability to discern colors. Like that's a.
And yet, in the Talmud, the rabbis actually correct God. They tell him where he's wrong, and the conclusions that God needs to reach. That's from the Talmud, where the rabbis are actually wiser than God. I'm sure this is quite amusing to the Supreme Being, but I doubt that they have any effect on him at all. How could they?
How does he react in the Talmud? Like, I'm not familiar with, how does God react?
There's a famous discussion in the Talmud where a rabbi is having an argument with God. God relents, realizing he was wrong, and apologizes to the rabbi for not accepting his point of view to begin with, which is so crazy. You'll only find that in Talmudic Judaism. Obviously, nobody's religion has any kind of passage like that. because other religions are about the worship of God, not the worship of ourselves. But their flavor of Judaism is pretty much about the worship of the Jewish people themselves, with God kind of taking a minor role in the back. That's the reason I don't consider it a real religion at all.
What do we have over here? Oh, this is interesting. Reports of Iranian Air Force jets airborne to confront enemy aircrafts. Okay, interesting. 6 minutes ago. Yeah, there's fighting going on.
I thought that was destroyed. Wait.
Images showing...
Dude,
images showing Manpad missiles being fired towards a U.S. helicopter in Khuzestan province. Yeah, they're I think the Americans are doubling or tripling down or some bullshit. Yeah, this is fucking stupid, man. Oh, jeez. What is this?
Oh, Lord.
All right.
No, I mean, to Sir Nova Scotia Tony's comment, they literally showed a video of an underground bunker where they keep F-14 Tomcats ready to deploy at any time, right? Like, this is like they don't just keep missiles under there. They keep the industry in order to create missiles under there. Yeah. They keep their Air Force. They keep their literal fast attack boat Navy. Like, the whole thing has been hardened for 20 years. So what we've done so far has been probably more than marginal damage to their military industrial, capability, but it's not much more than that.
The damage done to Iran is less than 10%. I mean, if you want to be generous, you can say 15% or so of the damage that was done to Iran by the 2003 earthquake, which took like 35 to 40,000 people. Like 35,000
I remember
lives.
The BAM earthquake.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, like, if that's what we're dealing with, man, it's 93 million people. It's an enormous country, right? You're not going anywhere with this, right? And, according to the RUSI numbers, right? RUSI is like a British outfit. Sometime later this month, the Americans will be out of not just their high-end stuff, but also most of their medium range, like a mid-range stuff. And at that point, they have to start using their JDAMs. And the JDAMs have a range of 30 kilometers to 45 kilometers, right? So you got to get in real close with those jets and everything else. Otherwise, they're not going to hit, right? So,
Sir Knez, what was your question in the Telegram channel about how much nuclear tonnage it would take to get through one of those mountains?
Yeah, if you're talking, these things are buried under several hundred feet of granite, and that is entirely possible. I mean, the only bomb you could, I'm thinking not just a nuke. I mean, a Hiroshima-sized nuke might not do anything other than knock some dust off the ceiling. I mean, I'm thinking you're going to need a hell of a bomb to get under, to really do damage to something that's under 500 feet of granite. Not plug up the base. Well, we're saying like actually collapse the structure underneath. That's going to be a pretty big nuke.
They probably don't even have that. Let me just double check something. Okay, crater size. All right, and then you can use Nuke Map to figure this out. Let's see.
I love how Enough has this all at his fingertips.
Yeah, I'm just like, just give me a second. Okay, so the largest Israeli nuke is 600 kilotons. All right, let's see. Detonate over there. Okay, how big's the crater? Crater inside radius, that much. Crater depth, 80 meters. It's not enough. 500 feet, gentlemen, is...
about 160 meters.
Yeah, so 600 kiloton nuke doesn't do it. And oh, by the way, you fired a nuke, so yeah, you're gonna get turned to glass. Just letting you know.
The Iranians wouldn't even feel the dust coming off the ceiling, like you say.
People need to understand something. Right? The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, right? If you take the strongest earthquake that we've ever measured, I think it's the one in Alaska or Chile or whatever, right? If you took that earthquake and you added like 7 or 8 zeros next to that number with regard to energy released, That's like how much was released by the meteor that hit, right? A nuke compared to like a 9.0 earthquake is like, scientific notation, 3 or 4 zeros away with regard to like less than that. So less than 1% of that. Human beings, we are not as significant as we think we are, man. The giant mountains are not going to be turned to dust by us firing off our nukes. They are going to still stand there. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was literally any dissident country on Earth right now, I would be tunneling underground.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple strategy. It absorbs any kind of kinetic energy that can be brought upon it.
Mm-hmm.
Hamas is the perfect example. Case in point.
Yeah.
They're still alive. If there was a Reddit thread or a Reddit community. It was called the Second Yom Kippur War.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going on there and trolling people like, hey, have you seen this video of Hamas blowing up your Merkava tanks or whatever? It was just a bunch of Israelis and Zionist cucks or whatever. And I got banned very, very quickly, but I had a good week on there. It was fun. And, they were talking like,
where was this story?
Hamas will be.
Where was this story?
This was on Reddit.
Oh, okay,
it's called the Second Yom Kippur War.
On Reddit. Well, there's your problem.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking for local Israeli commentary, right?
Yeah, bro.
Like actual Israelis and what they thought. Okay. And I was like, Hamas and Islamic Jihad have been around for decades and they're not going anywhere.
No.
And they were all like, oh, they'll be gone and, they can't stand up to the might of the Israeli army and the Israeli Air Force.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, you can't, and I would bring up all kinds of contingencies. Oh, but they have tunnels that are 60 meters deep, and whatnot. And they'd be, oh, well, we'll just fill them with seawater. So, buddy, you have to find them. You have to pump the water. You have to not get killed while you do that. You also don't, they have blast doors and things like, are you guys fucking retarded?
Yeah.
And that's how that went.
By the way, just so we're clear, 600 kilotons is like that's what some of them claim, but in reality, a couple of these guys, they did the assessments. And again, take it with a grain of salt, but like the Israelis have between 80 to 400 nuclear warheads. The majority of these devices have a yield of 20 to 40 kilotons, right? So it's far smaller than that. So if you actually like change the number and you make it 40, right? Let me just double check this, reset everything. It's gonna be a much smaller crater, just letting you guys know. Alright, crater, and let's do 40 kilotons. I'm using NukeMap, by the way. So anyone who wants to check my numbers, they can do so. Crater radius, less than 30 meters. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, 100 feet. Congratulations, guys. You went 100 feet. And oh, by the way, whatever's left, it's harder granite, and the explosion also compacted. So the remaining 400 feet is going to be harder to take down due to like basic physics and how these things work, right?
And just to add my two
nukes aren't fucking magic.
Yeah. Just to add my 2 cents of autism, Iran has also been, I think, Patarmesh, the account that's really good. He analyzes a lot of Iranian military industry and missile types and whatnot. He was describing the concrete technology that Iran has, and they have essentially the best concrete in the world. They have like hyper hardened composite, whatever you want to call it, like concrete. So the concrete layer that actually houses these bunkers is far superior to any concrete that you've ever heard of. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah. No, he's correct about that, right? But the thing is, right, like, if you fire multiple nukes, right? Multiple, right? You're talking about several dozen, right? And again, you only have a few of these in your arsenal, right? You might kill several thousand military personnel in one missile city. Brother Naji, how many missile cities does Iran have? Remind us again.
Oh, I would say at least 40, probably more than that.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago, bro. What's the number right now?
I heard it was closer to 100.
100
so
plus.
that was my.
It's 100
Yeah.
plus. So hey guys, congratulations! You killed you killed like 10,000 military personnel inside a fucking missile city. Oh, there's 99 more to go. And oh, what was that? Oh, you used 50 nukes to take out one. Yeah. You're gonna get hit by the remaining 99 missile cities. Some of them might be conventional, some of them might be nukes. And oh, by the way, you might also get turned to glass by like some other nuclear player because you use nukes. So there you go. That's the trade-off, right? So like the Israelis might still fire a nuke. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but the likelihood of them actually doing so and, like this being the timeline, I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, I think that they would use their goy cattle to fire a nuke.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. I'm just not sure the U.S. will do that. I mean, I don't, I understand.
Sir Kenneth, how many times?
Well, yeah, I know. Goyim, but the whole thing is there's a lot of difference between being a Goyim for something that might get, a bunch of soldiers killed and being Goyim for something that might get Washington, D.C. turned into glowing glass.
Yeah.
I think that risk right there, Israel might do it if they feel they're at the end of their rope and this is the end of the Zionist dream. I don't, even to put it bluntly, I don't think Americans got the balls to risk a nuclear war.
It's not just about balls. It's just that, like, the reason nuclear war hasn't taken place all these decades is because there's no first strike scenario in which you don't become the world pariah and everyone kills you. That's basically the reason, right? Let me just read this very quickly. What is this guy saying? Okay, give me a second. Let me pull this up. Sometimes I find these things. You gents can also pull things up and read them if you feel like it. Okay. Because the IRGC, okay, so Ali Ahmadi, how did Iran shoot down an F-15 but not something so significantly slower and larger, ? Okay. And then Koch answers, because the IRGC is extrapolating the sweep trajectory of the rescue operations to narrow down the location of the downed F-15 pilots in order to capture them. After that, the rescue operation of helicopters themselves gets hit. The fact that they just shot down a second helicopter moments ago suggests to me that the IRGC intentionally did all of this, and they have already captured the F-15 pilots, and that gave the green light to engage the rescue operation, which they're now shooting down. If they were merely mindless orcs, they would have attacked the rescue operation instead of using it to find the pilots first on their behalf. But they aren't. Quite the opposite. Sir Cleveland, what do you say to that?
I think that the first use of nuclear weapons in the Middle East, it won't just be Iran they're worried about. Every single major power in the Middle East will want to acquire nuclear weapons, and China will probably supply them all. And the next time, they will have international capacity. So the next time the United States attempts to threaten them or anyone else there in the Middle East the way they've done, they will face a nuclear-armed Middle East which can reach them on American shores. And they will have caused all this. They will have provided the motivation, and they will have pushed the initiative amongst these nations. By their actions now, they'll realize the only hope we have of surviving against these crazy people, these Zionist puppets, is to get nuclear weapons of our own and be prepared to nuke Americans on their own soil. And they're right. That will be a very effective strategy.
That's right. I'm just double checking what the Pakistani nuclear arsenal is. 40 kilotons. All right. What about?
I think it's like about 300 nukes.
165, 200, something like that. Maybe 200 plus.
200. Okay.
Yeah. Let me just see.
Okay.
North Korean nukes, 250 kiloton. That's right. You can put quite a bit on an ICBM. Let me just double check. All right. Yeah. No. Like if it's the case, because the Israelis are saying we have 600 kiloton nukes. I'm skeptical about that. But even the 600 kiloton is not enough. You need like several dozen or whatever, right? And I was just like running some numbers with regard to, okay, how many missile cities could you actually destroy if you used all your nukes? And the answer I came to was like less than 10, basically, right? Probably like 5 or 6. And Iran would have like 95 missile cities left to kill you. So there you go.
All the fucked up choices that got us here, you know?
The what, sorry?
Yeah.
All the fucked up choices that the governments have made over the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is. You know, like, what was I gonna say?
We didn't have to be here, I guess, is what I'm thinking. Like, I always sit
I think this was inevitable because, like, when you build a weapon, eventually it's gonna be used somewhere. That's just how I view things. Right? If you build a warehouse and the warehouse has a bunch of gunpowder, eventually the gunpowder is gonna be used somewhere. Right?
But there was supposed to be a plan for us all not to use that gunpowder and bring the amount of that gunpowder in the world down.
Yeah, it's called the NPT. You're right, sir.
The NPT's a failure, guys.
It's dead. It's dead.
It's been dead for a while. It's been dead for a while.
I mean, we're living in an era, like, think about the League of Nations, right?
Yeah.
They went through this horrific, hellish war. Something that none of us can even imagine, really. Like, the level of sacrifice was insane. You went over the top in the trench. All of your friends died.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, you were wounded and you got pulled back into a trench, got trench foot, and then survived. And then they created the League of Nations to, you know, ameliorate differences between foes that had relative power to each other.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at the UN, and who do we have? Gutierrez, this motherfucker. We have, you know, like, the UN is far more incompetent, in my personal opinion, and far more ridiculous. It's a clown show compared to the League of Nations. Like, it's all,
the UN,
like, we're in the exact same scenario.
The UN is dead, guys. The UN is dead. It's been dead for a while. Okay, gentlemen, 40 kiloton nuclear device from Pakistan, or the Iranians develop it, or whatever, right? This is a crude device. It's not like a third generation device. Just 40 kilotons. Surface burst. All right, Sir Kenas, casualties in Tel Aviv. What do you think it is?
Couple 100,000, probably. I want to say there's about 3 million people in the greater Tel Aviv area.
This is a small device. This
small
is only
device. It's about a little bigger than Hiroshima, and I know that twice the kilotonnage doesn't mean twice the blast area. Okay, I'd guess 50 to 100,000 dead. Maybe about 400,000 wounded.
So
more than that, likely.
101,000 killed, 154,000 plus wounded. All right, let me now swap this out. 300. All right.
You gotta bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, rookie numbers. I assumed a first generation device. Okay, I'm gonna assume a third generation device with 500 kilotons. All right, let's see. Detonate that over Tel Aviv. Detonate it over here, just for the hell of it. Let me see. Okay. 250,000 dead, 300,000 injuries. What if I make it airburst? Let me see. I think it's gonna be higher or lower. Yeah, it's gonna be much higher. Much higher. Airburst is the way to go. 300,000. Yeah, 300,000 dead, 800,000 wounded. Yeah, that's like, if you see that number, the country's going to surrender, man. Like, at that.
I think this war's gotten so ugly that nobody's going to be using air bursts. They're going to be using ground bursts to generate maximum amounts of fallout downwind, to try to depopulate the areas that were not hit directly. But I think in this particular war, you won't see too many air bursts. I think they'll just look to hit the ground and wipe out a whole stream with prevailing winds that are down from that. At that point, obviously, Israel will be evacuated. There won't be anybody left there. If even one of those is detonated on the ground, that'll be all she wrote. You know, Israel will come to a close.
Yeah, I'm just seeing what else. Did I miss something? Okay, let me see. What if I detonate it over here? You guys can play around with nuke map if you want. It's a pretty interesting thing.
Okay, I'm just looking here.
900,000. Yeah, but basically, there's a bunch of these like places. If you airburst it, the entire place gets flattened. But this is assuming a very, very big device, like a third generation 500 kiloton device, which, if Iran actually has that, that would be so funny. It'd be like, yeah, all this time you were fighting a guy who was hiding like an ICBM underneath like 5, which had like that device. Oh dear. Maybe you should have invested in missiles rather than clinging onto an outdated and archaic form of warfare. We Chinese invented rocketry, by the way. Oh dear.
God damn. Yeah, let's go back to the Stone Age.
It's so fucking. It's so like the helicopters are getting shot down, the F-15s are getting shot down, and it's so fucking funny. Like the Americans are gonna watch 10 more movies, and whenever they write about how Iran's ass is getting kicked, like they'll be on Substack or one of these places, and the header image is gonna be like a jet aircraft. And I'm like, dude, this is 50, 60-year-old technology. You're living in the fucking past, man. You're not fighting a modern war. You're fighting a 20th century war. What the fuck are you doing? Right? It's just like the culture is dead. The society is dead. That's why they're like engaged in like this bullshit of like old technology. But that's what that is, guys.
Yeah, I think before we talk about nuclear war, there's two pieces of breaking news.
Breaking news. U.S. F-16 CJ fighting Falcons. Squawking emergency alert. After operations in Iran, F-16 could be damaged from Iranian anti-air defense. Yeah, guys, looks like the numbers of jets and helicopters getting shot down is going to exponentially increase from now onwards.
Who, I ask you, who could have predicted this? I mean, well, other than Kanaz and Anoff and everybody here in the spaces and, you know, anybody who had an IQ greater than that of your average eggplant.
It's like the end of history by Fukuyama, you know, who among us could have foreseen this? And everybody did except for them. They're the only ones that didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody saw this outcome.
Yeah.
Pride cometh before the fall.
By the way, gents, remember, none of these things are being built in like live factories and production lines. So like, whenever these things get shot down, they're just gone. Right? Oh, my 60-year-old jet got shot down. Yeah, you know, we're building one of these in a fucking factory in Pittsburgh. No, you're not, man. That's not what's going on.
Have you guys mentioned how the deliveries of I believe Tomahawks to Japan have been severely curtailed or like just canceled, just outright canceled? Either Japan or South Korea or one of those nations. Like the U.S. just said, no, we don't have the Tomahawks to give you. We know you paid several $1 billion. We don't care. So that's what's happening. It's the cannibalization, of the U.S. empire, and it's getting weaker and weaker. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Let me read what Sir Malcolm has to say. It's so fucking funny that in 2026 we are getting Biden-era smarmy fact-checkers coming from right controlled government accounts, and they're even more stupid and dishonest than before. Wasn't this the shit that was supposed to be abolished? Sir Kenaz, Sir Malcolm, Sir Kenaz and Sir Cleveland. Thoughts?
I think previously we've talked about this, and it's to be expected that those casualties are going to keep mounting. There's more and more planes that get shot down. And the truth is, now that they're out of all the major air radar, the THAADs have all been taken out of commission. They're actually sending men in flying blind. So it's to be expected that casualties are going to be much higher in future than they have been over the past couple of weeks. I just see it as a time when anybody that has any military experience is going to know, okay, cancel the attack, pull all the men back, tell them to retreat right now, or we call it a strategic withdrawal in the Army. But it's obvious to anybody with military experience, if you don't want to chew up any more men, they should all come out now, recall all the planes, and tell the helicopters to turn right around and come back.
You're fired. You're fired.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at Sir Malcolm's post right now. The first thing is fact checking is so 2019. I mean, basically these people, like fact checkers, basically at this point, and I mean, again, I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. There have been studies on this. If you want to make people less likely to believe what you say, quote a fact checker.
There we go. There we go.
It's just like, this is not even, U.S. CENTCOM. I mean, don't you have anybody who does PSYOPs there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody? Bueller? I mean, this is just like, where, this is, it's not helping you. Well, of course they did down that fighter. I mean, this is fucking Baghdad Bob level.
So Kenaz, the helicopters were not shot down. It's all AI generated, and the Iranian regime is lying. But don't worry, Sir Kenaz, market is closed tomorrow, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, things are going like.
Yeah.
We're hearing they shot down an enemy fighter jet. Well, I believe, 18 hours ago, because at this point it's been confirmed that there was an enemy fighter jet shot down. I mean, it's not like claimed, U.S. fighter aircraft are all accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we're accounting for the ones on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then of course, let's see. The Goyim results are like, propaganda alert. Let's see, David Michaud, technology entrepreneur, executive, and advisor. Well, idiot needs to be put in there somewhere. There is enough space left to add that in.
Mm-hmm.
We've crossed the Cape Shit Rubicon, and we're through the Kefab looking glass.
I think the reason they resigned, I think they sacked all these generals for like this exact reason of like what's happening today with regard to like this fucking bullshit of like flying helicopters into Iranian airspace. Man, this is so fucking stupid, man. Holy shit. MQ-9 Reaper drones and F-35 jets spotted supporting U.S. helicopters searching for pilots of the downed jet. Another helicopter hit. This is hilarious, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're surprised that the Persians know a thing or two about military tactics.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck did you think? Gerald Butler was going to come out in like, gladiator armor there and go, this is Sparta, and then come out and kick their asses?
That's the idea, yeah.
They put up on movies. They only understand things through the language of movies, and they think real life is a movie too. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're expecting this is 3/4 of the way through. It looks quite grim and dark, but it's America, man. They're gonna pull out the victory.
Movie's gonna climax. Movie's gonna climax, and Iran's gonna be defeated. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, let's remember one thing. The last time the U.S. attempted to fly helicopters and refueling planes over Iranian airspace was Operation Eagle Claw.
Yeah.
If you fine gentlemen want to go look up Operation Eagle Claw, you'll see that it was a resounding failure. Very interesting.
Yeah. There we go.
The stupidity never seems to end.
It never fucking ends. I'm just seeing if we have confirmation for like, hang on a second. It's gonna take a while, right? But like
for the helicopters, yeah. Oh, it's gonna for the I mean, yeah. I mean, they just officially confirmed the F-15 was downed, or a fighter jet, quote unquote, was downed. So it's gonna be a little while. I will see on Iranian TikTok videos of the pilot being paraded before we see official confirmation that he was even,
they're confirming
it's AI.
Yeah. They're confirming that it was an F-15E and sticking to the absurd story of a Kuwaiti pilot who shot down 3 of these before, as if laughing face emoji. Yeah, it's like, okay, sorry, man. Sir Kenaz, are you winning? How much are you winning?
I'm winning so fucking hard. So hard.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
That was really believable.
We're having too much fun, guys.
Should be giving morale speeches to the troops. I really believe that.
Yeah, you can really hear the life in Sir Kenaz's voice there.
Oh, man.
Then keep winning. Yeah.
Oh my god!
And like Enough, you always say this is just day. What happens on day 183?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like people need to understand. People need to understand. Like this is gonna be several weeks and months of this bullshit, man. It's gonna be like worse and worse and worse and worse. Like it's April right now. Sometime like mid to late April, Europe, America, and many of these places, they're gonna get their last shipment. And it's like autarky, self-sufficient, blah, blah, blah. All of that's bullshit, right? Phosphate, sulfur, helium. Good luck without like the Straits of Hormuz shipments of those things, right? Your self-sufficient autarky bullshit will fall apart, right? But people have no clue what they're dealing with. They're just like, oh, I'm paying a few cents extra at the gas station. It's just another stupid Middle Eastern war, blah, blah, blah. They're still coping and seeding, man. Like, the fucking goyim, they're mooing loudly, right? Like, that's what this is.
It's temporary. It's temporary, sir, man.
Yeah, they're coping and seething, but not planting and seeding because no fertilizer. Yeah. Get my joke?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, what is this guy saying? Okay, let me actually read this. This is interesting. Okay. Janine Yunus. I really hope Iranians know most Americans are appalled by this. Okay, and then the goyim moves a bit of other stuff for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 lines. Okay, and then Robbie Martin whips the goyim into shape with the following vicious reply. Why do people on here want to keep perpetuating the fantasy that Americans are not awful, horrific, selfish, entitled, ignorant, narcissistic, bloodthirsty people? He's correct, by the way. He's correct. Because like, the thing is, right? The only reason they're quote unquote appalled is that they think that, it's going to be a Middle Eastern war and it's going to be tactical defeat, tactical success, strategic defeat. And we beat up a bunch of cultural heritage sites. Oh my gosh, how could America do this? I'm like, buddy, shut the fuck. Don't give me this fucking spare me your patronage. Fuck off. Look, you're going to get starved to death. Tens of millions of you are going to die from the greatest depression, right? You don't have to give me this fucking fake bullshit, right? We know that you love seeing Gazan children getting blown to bits. We know that you love watching Israel kill women and kids. We know what you are, man, right? Like, this fucking fakery. I'm sick and tired of it, man. Like, did this, goyim mooing? They're mooing so loudly, right? You can hear them mooing all the way from over here, right? Just like, oh dear. Oh dear, what a fucking shit show. Trump has no idea how to clean up his own mess. New York Times. Oh, shocked Pikachu face. All right, what else do we have here? Iran is undefeatable. That's correct. Okay. This is the most significant moment of the entire Iranian war. I disagree, but okay, let's see what this guy says. Let me walk you through what just happened. Iran shot down a U.S. F-15 Strike Eagle. It went down in southern Iran. The wreckage is confirmed on Iranian soil. The pilot or pilots, I think they have 2 pilots on the F-15, okay, did not eject safely. Iran's Tasnim News says IRGC forces captured them. Iran initially claimed it was an F-35. It was actually an F-15E. Either way, they have the wreckage, and they claim they have the crew. The U.S. scrambled an immediate rescue operation. F-15s flew combat air patrol overhead. MQ-9 drones monitored the crash site. A C-130 and Black Hawk helicopters went in for extraction. The rescue failed completely. 1 Black Hawk was shot down during the attempt. Multiple aircraft lost in a single operation. The U.S. is publicly denying all of it. No confirmed losses, no confirmed POWs, nothing. That silence is deafening. Now here's where it gets really bad. This morning, Trump said, I'm going to take the oil and make a fortune. He's talking about Iranian oil. Okay. This afternoon, Iran announced that they have an American prisoner of war. The same damn day. All right. March 31st, Trump said he was willing to end the war. April 3rd, Trump says take the oil. April 3rd as well. American pilot captured on Iranian soil. The last time Iran held American hostages was 1979, and this destroyed Carter's entire presidency. The POW is not just a tragedy, it is also leverage. Iran now holds a card nobody can take from them, right? Pilots going to appear on state television. Political fallout will be unlike anything we've seen. Over 100 legal experts today called the United States' strikes potential war crimes. Now a U.S. service member is in Iranian custody. This is not a footnote. This is a story. I mean, he's making a big deal out of this, but all I would tell him is, as good Sir Tony was saying, buddy, you're on fucking, day 35. Wait till you see what happens on day 183.
There's also there's more breaking news. Yedioth Aharonoth, so the Israeli news outlet.
Yeah.
Severe damage to a drone production factory in Bet Tikva after it was targeted by Iranian missiles. Oh, well, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that Iron Dome was going to protect them.
Yeah, remember Iron Dome? It's impregnable and they're invulnerable.
Yeah.
So don't even waste your time
guys,
attacking them. Iran, you shouldn't even bother.
What's that old saying? Man plans, God laughs.
That's it. He's laughing right now. Yep.
Yeah.
You need the Golden Dome, guys. You don't understand yet. If you just buy the Golden Dome for $1.5 trillion,
bro,
you'll be fine. There'll be no problems.
Bro. What a fucking shit show.
Lessons are never learned, though. You know, lessons are never learned. So I don't expect any lessons to be learned in this event.
No, none whatsoever.
You can see the real defense was all these illusions. Israel's super Iron Dome and a million other pieces of new technology. Some of it's so secret we can't tell you what it is. A country would have to be out of their mind to inflame the passions of the Americans, because if we go to war nowadays, our super weapons will make quick work out of all of you. That whole thing turned out to be a gigantic fiasco. There are no super weapons. It's just junk from the 1970s.
Yeah. It's all like, and it's not just junk from the 1970s. Everything after that is just like a variation of the junk from the 1970s, right? Hey, you know, we've reached the apex of warfare, ... Yeah, sure, in the 1970s. And then, hey, you know, look at this new thing we developed in like 1997. It's like, okay, it says diminishing returns, and it's the same fucking shit from 30 years ago. And you've just like, I don't know, made the radar signature slightly smaller, and oh my gosh, it's an invisible plane, it's fucking stealth. I was like, dude, the engine gives off heat. Law of thermodynamics. Fucking like, I can see the fucking heat from like using 1950s tech, right? And so he does this, and it's like, hey man, we discovered something even better. F-35, yeah man, woo! And then it's the same.
And the Iranians, the Iranians resorted to their brains instead of their money. And they just started making drones out of plywood and balsa wood, which can't be detected by radar. And again, brains beats brawn every time. If you stop and think about what you're doing, you can do for $1 what the enemy costs $1 million to find out it doesn't work.
Yeah. It's just like, so he makes it out of balsa wood and fucking plastic, the drones, as Sir Cleveland was saying. And then this guy.
Thought of that in America. They've got gigantic think tanks of these people with brains the size of watermelons who sit around talking about possibilities. Never occurred to them they could just build the planes out of balsa wood. Nobody thought of that.
Oh man! And then this fucking like Goyim plantation, America, builds like the same fucking jet with like 5 additional features from like the 1970s.
The heat signature is equivalent to an iron smelting furnace. And there is just no way you can ever hide that. So obviously you'd have to think, hey, well, then what would I do if I wanted to get rid of the heat signature? You do what the Iranians did. Brilliant, and it won, and there's absolutely no defense or any way to detect them incoming. You have to visually spot them with the eye right before they go off in front of you, before you realize you're under attack by these drones. It was brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly,
I have to admire them. The Iranians have been quite spectacular. If you were interested in military matters and you wanted to learn from a strategy in a war, how to be really effective, even against a superior fighting force, the Iranians have shown if you're willing to use your brains, you can beat anybody.
Yeah. All right. Lowest approval rating in history. Okay. Harry Truman, 1952, 22%. George Bush, 2008, October, 25%. Richard Nixon, 23%, August 1974, before resignation. Donald John Trump, 33% in March Ooh, we might break a record, Sir Kenneth. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, this is getting pretty close to like the Watergate levels here.
I mean, all they gotta do is take the pilot that they captured and just like, not even humiliate him, just like show him on TV and just mutter some stuff about like, not mutter some stuff, but like say that America's the great Satan and look, we captured the pilot from the invincible aircraft or whatever, right? And that would like shatter so many of these like fucking goyim's like solstice bubble. It'll be fun to watch, man.
Was Watergate was Watergate the when the lowest presidential like rating ever was?
It was Truman, Harry Truman, 1952. I think this was due to the Korean War. It was due to the Korean War.
I have a better idea, Sarah Neff, a little bit more because I'm in the West. I know how marketing works here and how they sort of rape our minds. You could have Abbas Araghchi with his nice little smirk, just like hand in hand. You know how like Middle Easterners sometimes like we walk with like other men, but we hold their hands. You could just have him hand in hand with the pilot. Nice and cozy, and just walking through downtown Tehran. And
the video.
I dare you.
The video of him walking with his hood up and then getting stopped. Like, I mean, that would never happen in the West. That just would never happen. The fact that he was out there with them. You know what I mean? Like that's powerful. That's a powerful image.
Imagine Marco Rubio walking through the streets of Manhattan.
I just wanted to be with the people.
Of all, just that. And then imagine Marco Rubio walking through the streets of Manhattan during wartime when, bombers are coming over. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, gents, if they pull off more stunts like these, where they lose multiple airframes in a single fucking day, I don't know if they can make it till the end of May, Sir Kenneth. Because these things are not
at some point, it is going to become like the Soviet Union essentially falls because it's like, well, we need money. Well, but we have no money. It's like, well, we have to respond to this Iranian provocation. We have no soldiers, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Hitler in the bunker if like Hitler had no artistic talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, well, of course we must do this, Mein Donald.
Mein Cheeto. Mein Cheeto.
Drums.
The orange Cheeto. Quick, we need to scramble.
Mein pedo.
Yeah, Mein pedo. Okay, well, there's protests in the streets and the civil war has started and a bunch of like American goyim have finally stopped being goyim and they've become a militia and they're marching towards Washington. Steiner's counterattack. No, like, our fighter jets will take care of it. Mein pedo, mein Cheeto, mein Drumpf, my Donald. All the jets were shot down in Iran.
We have nothing.
You don't have an Air Force anymore. You got no Air Force. You got a bunch of fucking helicopters. He can take out the fucking helicopters by himself, man. Holy shit.
Send the MQ-9 Reapers.
Yeah, the ones that are getting shot
down 25.
And at that point, they pull out a single drone, the one that was from that fucking parade.
God, what fucking bullshit, man. Oh man,
honestly, fuck them for slaughtering Pakistanis in a wedding party. And,
yeah.
100%.
The Americans, after World War II, America killed 15 million people, wounded 35 million, displaced 100 million. Let me just put it to you, gents, this way: America's gonna get all of that back with interest. Let me put it to you that way. From the rest of the world. Because they made a lot of friends. They made a lot of friends in the rest of the world, right? So, the Israelis are like, what's the number? Like 250,000 killed, 10 million people displaced, over 1 million people wounded and amputated and that kind of stuff. The Israelis are going to get what they deserve as well. But the Americans, man, that's going to be fucking like, grab the popcorn, man. Holy shit. It's going to be...
At least the Americans thought they were bringing everyone else Pizza Huts and McDonald's. Like, I don't get with the Israelis. They're like, oh, we just want this red heifer to burn.
Yeah.
We are a light upon the world. We are God's light upon the earth.
I find it so funny. I find it so funny. I find it so funny. Like the Goyim, like when they moo about how amazing Israel is, I'm like, okay, they can't beat fucking Lebanon in 1982, right? They get kicked out of Lebanon after 18 years. This guy's gonna establish Greater Israel. They can't beat fucking Lebanon, who's like a 12-year-old boxer compared to like Mike Tyson, which is like the entire region. And it's like, okay, well, this guy's gonna do it. And oh my gosh, look at Israel, man. Israel won every war. Buddy, Israel gets everything it wants. Well, I mean, it used to, but not anymore. But it gets everything it wants from like fucking France, UK, Germany, America. Israel gets weapons from like 3 countries, and it's been doing so for decades, right? Like the fact that after getting all those fucking weapons, all of that fucking manpower, all of that training, all of that production, manufacturing, etc., and they can't even fucking hold on to the Sinai Peninsula, Israel's a fucking bitch, man. Right? Like, the narrative is so funny. Israel, the invincible, mighty, whatever. Israel's a bitch, man. Israel, after getting weapons, manpower, everything from all the fucking Western Goyim, they still can't do shit, man.
They still can't fight their own battles. 80 years later, after the founding of Israel, they literally don't have the guts to even fight their own wars. That's pitiful.
Yeah.
And guess what? As a nation, you failed. You are failed. If I'm going to credit your report or mark your report, you are a failure as a nation. You still got to get the U.S.'s money as well as their soldiers, or otherwise you couldn't accomplish anything. Mm-hmm. It's pitiful. Yeah. Israel is a nation of pitiful men, and that is one of the ugliest cities on earth, Israel, because it's got some of the ugliest men on the planet. They didn't care enough about their own environment. If you go down into downtown Iran and compare it with downtown Tel Aviv, you will see one of the ugliest countries on earth compared to one of the most beautiful cities on earth. So, the Israelis, they should have tried spending some of that money on their own country, on their own military, and try to find some men with the guts to go over and solve their own problems. It's disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Well, having been there, I could say Jerusalem, the old city of Jerusalem, is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been.
Because it's all built by other people, though, Kenan.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, Tel Aviv is essentially, the best way I could say, it looks like kind of Terre Haute, Indiana with skyscrapers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very much undistinguished. There's really not much of any beauty there.
Yep.
A lot kind of looks like one part a port refinery city with like a bargain basement Disneyland because people come there to go like sunbathing and like swimming in the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, it is like
ruined architecture throughout the Western world with the Bauhaus and all those other Jewish ideas about gray pillboxes. You'd think they could ruin the architecture in other people's country. Couldn't you at least make the architecture in your own country pretty? But when you look over Israel and you think, well, it's not all bad. Look at that beautiful building. Yeah, it's usually a mosque or a building built by Islamics or Christians. Where they're built by Israelis, they're freaking ugly.
Oh, yeah.
If they really believe they're God's people, you should make buildings that are a tribute to your religious faith, but apparently they don't go for that.
No. Well, yeah. Breaking news, guys. Faytux News says that one U.S. pilot has been successfully recovered, which means that there were multiple pilots, as we discussed earlier. And
I mean, this is like Channel 12, right? It's Israeli media.
No, this is Faytux.
The source he's using is Channel 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so Channel 12 is so whatever the Israelis say, take it with a grain of salt, right? But even the Israelis are saying that the shoot down took place. Yeah.
Right, and even still, that means they left one pilot on the ground there, or he's dead. So there's that.
Or he's fucked. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Oh, you don't say. Let me see what else is going on here. F-16 Falcon is shooting that. I'm just seeing what else is popping up here. Oh, Hollywood movies. Jet pilot versus Hollywood movies. Iran. Oh dear. Oh dear. So much winning, Surkinas. So much fucking winning. What is this supposed to be? Let me see.
To Sir Cleveland's point about the beauty of Iran, like Pakistanis, we're Sunnis, we're ardent Sunnis, but we appreciate the beauty of Iran and Persian culture and Muslims in general, writ large. I don't care if you're from Morocco or you're from Uganda. Like everyone recognizes the beauty of Iranian poetry, their philosophy. Most of the great Muslim thinkers have come from Iran. So you can,
a lot of
they're
them have.
gardens.
Quite a few of them have, yeah.
I would say a majority
have,
even, but perhaps.
Yeah,
so,
basically that part of the world. Yeah.
I'm not saying, right. So, I mean, it's a great civilization. There's no doubts throughout, the Achaemenid period all the way to the Seleucids and XYZ all the way till today. Like,
I shared Sir Malcolm's latest meme making with regard to the situation that's happening. You guys can check it out. I shared it to the spaces. Oh dear, man. Missile launches from Iran towards Israel 6 minutes ago. Reports of Iranian jets. Okay, we already read that shit. Do we have anything else? Alborian Wanderer, yeah. No, like, it's gonna be more and more of this, gents. It's gonna be like, as the, standoff munitions run dry and they're like, those fucking Iranians, they couldn't do anything to us, right? So now we're gonna get in close and fuck them up, right? Like, in the movies, right? And by the way, like, they also believe their own supply. Like, as they get in closer to drop JDAMs and other shit, there's gonna be more and more of these shoot downs. Right? And we're going to get eventually to the point where one jet on average is being shot down every day, right? Like outright destroyed, right? If you have a situation where one jet is being destroyed every day, man, like this war is not going to last past like 6 or 7 months, right? The casualties for like, material, manpower, et cetera, for the Air Force will be so debilitating that America will literally have no Air Force left at that point, right? So, oh dear.
Guys, I said something ugly about Israel, and all of a sudden you got 100 more listeners enough.
There we go.
I think somebody sounded the alarm, told them to come over here and listen in.
Yeah.
Let me repeat myself. Israel is a butt ugly gypsy camp from one side to the other. And Iran is beautiful, and it'll be beautiful again inside after this war is over.
Go.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Israel.
There we go.
I feel like 100 people just went here.
Here. There we go. Oh yeah, we did increase in listeners. Oh, we got quite a few actually. That's interesting.
Yes. It's all Israeli bots. They're now listening to us. They're trying to find our locations. Hey, guess what, Mossad? Suck my nuts. How about that?
Oh dear. Oh man. There's gonna be so many. Go ahead.
They're writing down names. That's why 100 people came over. They're all writing them down. See if we can figure out where they are. So they probably already know where the three of us are. Enough, Kenyan and me. But the other people on here who are listening probably want to write them down as well.
Sir Cleveland, real fast before you go ahead, Ahnaf. In Islam, we have Kiram and Katibin. They're two angels. They sit on our left and right shoulder, okay? The left shoulder records your wrong deeds, all of the porn you watched, all of the drugs, and all of the bullshit you did, right? On the right side is Katibin. It records all of the good deeds. So let them write what they want. They can create their own lists in Israel. Yeah. We have our own lists.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They never try to fix the problem. They just write your name on the list if you notice there is a problem. Like saying their city is ugly, that really pisses them off. I knew that when I said it.
Yeah. Oh, this is hilarious. I'm gonna read this. So this is the parliament speaker, the speaker of parliament for Iran, Ghalibaf, right? Okay. After defeating Iran 37 times in a row, this brilliant no strategy war they started has now been downgraded from regime change to, hey, exclamation mark, can anyone find our pilots, please? Wow. What incredible progress. Absolute geniuses. By the way, this is like the 70-year-old parliament speaker. Sir Kenas, what do you say to him?
Oh, the Iranians have just done an amazing job of trolling Donald Trump and the United States. I mean, this isn't as good as the one where you've got, like, Donald Trump is going to control the Strait of Hormuz along with,
the Gay of Hormuz.
Iran. And it was like, then what they did was they had a picture of like a steering wheel and then a steering wheel pasted, like a kitty steering wheel pasted on the dashboard on the next seat. So it's like Donald can get hold of it and go, I'm driving.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Okay. Holy shit. This is crazy. Okay, guys, Sir Cleveland has to leave in like 10 minutes, but I need to at least read this. Okay. Trump has proposed a 1.5 trillion defense budget, a 40% increase, the largest since World War II. In exchange for more war with Iran, he wants to cut the EPA budget by half, cut $10.7 billion for housing, cut $8.5 billion for K-12 programs, cancel $15 billion for solar and wind, cut $2.5 billion for drinking water, eliminate $1.6 billion for youth job training, cut $3.5 billion from Labor Department, cut $400 million for senior employment, eliminate $775 million in food assistance, eliminate the NED, cut $5 billion from National Institute of Health, eliminate the low-income housing. This is hilarious, man. Like, he's literally going all in with the fucking Iran thing.
I was just imagining the Star Spangled Banner playing behind you as you read all that.
Bro, this is fucking.
As long as they don't cut any funding for Israel, that's what matters. Just don't cut any of the funding for Israel. Forget about the United States. We're just here to serve you guys over there. We won't miss it. We'll just stop.
We're the good goyim.
Stop eating altogether. Make sure that money goes to Israel.
Well, didn't you hear, Sir Ahmed?
Guys, I've had a good time today. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
I've got to go. I've been done off before. So thank you for listening to all my ranting. Obviously, I've been
all good.
pretty angry about all this, but it was good talking to you. Next time, okay?
No worries. We'll have this up soon, and Sir Cleveland, when possible, if possible, cross-post. It helps out a lot. Thank you, Sir Cleveland. Appreciate it.
Take care, Sir Cleveland.
All right. Okay, we'll probably do like 30 more minutes now that Sir Cleveland's off, and then let me actually read this. Hang on a second. This is important. Okay. Non-defense spending is reduced by $73 billion or 10% while still providing support for blah, 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 blah. Okay. So it's just a bunch of government propaganda. Okay. Trump's 2027 budget proposal cuts non-defense spending by 10%, raising military spending by $445 billion or 42%. We are headed for even more militarization. I disagree with that, by the way. I don't think it's going to be more militarization. It's just going to be like the $450 billion is going to people's pockets. This is some fucking bullshit. Let me see what this is saying. Okay. This is fucking bullshit. What is this? Okay. Iranian analysis. English subtitles. Okay. Yeah, no, this is gonna be $500 billion that's going to everyone looting the country, gents. I don't think this is gonna be for like building actual jets and actual stuff. So there you go. Oh dear, man. Oh, I'm just like trying to figure out what else is happening here. If you gents find anything, read it out loud. Cause, this is some fucking bullshit that's happening right now. Trump's budget proposal fully eliminates low-income home assistance wow, really? So no more housing, like, grants and whatever for, like, people trying to buy homes. Okay, good. All right, destroy America, Trump. You know that's your destiny.
Like I was trying to say, it's the state's responsibility. Didn't you listen to the great leader's recent speech? It's all the state's responsibility. Medicare, childcare, daycare. It's all just up to the states. I mean,
There we go.
It's not the federal government's responsibility.
Oh my God, man. Fucking hell. What is this crap? Middle class can barely afford to live. Okay, that doesn't matter to Trump because Trump doesn't care about the middle class. We all know this. Okay. The Trump paradox. He requires complete subservience from you, but if you are too subservient, he loses all respect for you. Sir Kenneth, how do you respond?
I mean, what am I gonna say? Like, working with Trump, like, at this point, if you're foolish enough to take a position in the Trump administration, you deserve all the madness and chaos that comes out for you.
Yeah, basically.
Be honest, Sir Kenneth. Be honest. Like, what is the punishment in a court of law you should receive? Like, be honest. I know there are Israeli bots, but like, I mean, they deserve worse than what you're saying.
There we go.
A lifetime of landmine removal.
There we go.
There you go. That's not bad. I appreciate it.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, New Scotland, Tony. Emirates Global Aluminum, one of the biggest aluminum production complex in the world, has been shut down after significant damage. Yeah, folks. There's going to be more of this shit. There's going to be more of this shit happening over the next several weeks.
6 to 12 months to get it back online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder if America needs aluminum. Gosh.
Oh, good Sir Tony, don't worry. They're going to invade Canada to get aluminum after they defeat Iran, of course. They're going to invade a country 6 times bigger.
I was saying to my girlfriend the other day, like, I'm ready to get into a trench on the main line, and
you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to do that. You just have to buy 100 drones. You just have to buy 100 drones, use a bunch of duct tape, attach a bunch of no, I'm serious. I'm serious.
No, I know. Fiber optic wire to them.
Yeah. Attach a bunch of that shit and then get a couple of those 200 gram standard issue things, right? Even fucking C4, 200 grams of C4 would do it, right? And then have some shrapnel or whatever. And so when you kamikaze into the fucking goyim who's invading you, right? Not only does he die, but all his buddies who are crouched up together with him, they die from the fucking shrapnel.
Yeah, 100%. Or I was thinking the tactical suicide nuke vest might be a good one.
The suicide nuke vest, yeah, that was just special in the special education sense of the word.
Mm-hmm. Trump reaches negative overall approval rating with white working class voters for the first time ever. Sir Kenneth, what do you say to that?
Well, sooner or later, everybody's got to wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, I think outside of social media, most people, what did we want from Trump? Well, first of all, make America great again. We're doing a great job in Iran. We wanted to, improve the situation for working class people, bring down inflation. Well, not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those tariffs are going to rebuild the American manufacturing sector. Oh yeah, how's that going?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we took Greenland. Oh, well, we didn't do that either. I mean, of course the guy's popularity ratings are going down.
Can you imagine him telling that section of his supporters who he's lost that they're just not MAGA? That's what he says to people when they leave the ship, right? They're just not MAGA. Yeah, those people not MAGA, they were the original MAGAs.
Mm-hmm. Oh dear, what a shit show. All right, anything else happening right now across the world? Let me see. Another US F-16 has been hit. Is this like a third one? No, I think it's like a second one. Hang on a second. Okay, let me see what this French general said. Okay, a French general just looked at Trump's plan to build a actual runway inside Iran to fly out the uranium under active enemy heavy bombardment. His response, quote, American officials should stop snorting cocaine between meetings. This is the same man who called joining Trump's war, quote, buying cheap tickets for the Titanic after it has already hit the iceberg. The French are not holding back. Sir Kenaz, what do you say to that?
I mean, that's not even cocaine. I went to college in the 80s. I'm familiar with cocaine. Never mind. I couldn't put enough lines of coke up each nostril while I was smoking crack and had a nitrous tank sitting next to me and come up with our contemporary foreign policy.
Yeah, what was that drug that had?
I got a great idea. Yeah, let's take over Iran. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna build a runway.
And airdrop excavators and bulldozers.
We're gonna airdrop bulldozers. I mean, and what happens? They bring missiles at us. Well, we're America, baby, fucking America.
Yeah, pass the bath salts, please. Pass the bath salts.
This is literally like.
Oh God!
You know, I could get chew your face off high before I could come up with this plan high.
100%. I see that. I'm much easier in my mind. See that?
Oh man, Sir Arnav Jindal is in the house. All right, Sir Arnav.
Arnav.
There we go. Sir Arnav is here. All right.
Let's go.
Let's go, Sir Arnav.
Are you happy that Pakistan's gas prices have risen like 2 or 3-fold more than India's? Or
I mean, that's gonna cause chaos in the region. So, but anyhow, Sir Arnav, go ahead.
I mean, Pakistan, like, except for terrorism from Pakistan, we don't expect anything from Pakistan. But
that's fair. Hey, that's fair.
You opened the door and he walked through it.
Hey, that's fair.
Terrorism works. Hey, it's
terrorism works.
Yeah, it works. Like, we know in India. But again, like, people in Pakistan, like these, like, they are very resilient people. So, like, even though like these people can we can't compare those with normal Westerns. Like, they're a different breed altogether. They will survive
yes.
Those are the facts. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yes. But yeah, like in India, there is the one faction in India which is trying to, like, cause panic, and there is another which is like doing everything in its power to underreport. So it's like, you have fight between two ends, and obviously restaurants and all have been hit, and there have been certain places where it's work from home, but we haven't seen pure chaos as on now. Like, it's like, it might be like we are at the brink of something. I don't know, but as on date, everything seems cool. I don't know. Is it a good sign or bad sign?
Well, basically what's going to happen is the last couple of ships that are on the water, they will complete their deliveries sometime in like late April. So like middle of April to late April, all of that's done. And after that, everything out of the Hormuz, no one's receiving it. So India's not receiving it. Japan's not receiving it. America's not receiving it. Europe's not receiving it because they're all on the water and Iran is not letting them pass. So there you go. So, So you guys have, 20 days or something, 21 days, 24 days. So there you go. Oh dear.
I don't think it's still not sinking in.
No, it's not sinking in.
Same. Like, I mean, it's just been a month. It's like, it feels like this war has passed on for 2-3 months. Like, it's crazy to me that it's just a month.
The way people are behaving, right? And you see this especially, like you see this complacency less in the non-Western world, but in the Western world, the complacency you see, and I talked to a couple of my buddies who are in like America, Canada, Germany, Italy, all these other places, and it's always the same. It's just like, oh, it's just a temporary thing, man. You know, it'll be over soon. Trump's gonna win the war. Iran's gonna be destroyed. And then like 2 weeks later, the oil and gas is going to come out of Hormuz again. And I just laugh. I'm like, dude, Iran is destroying the refineries, man. The refineries are going to take several years to build back, right? And it's not just fucking oil and gas. It's aluminum, phosphates, helium, sulfur, everything, right? You need all that shit, right? And it's being destroyed right now. And you're talking about like, oh, it's going to be over in 6 weeks or whatever the fuck. Dude, it's only been a month, man. All right, relax. Whenever the Hormuz simulations are done, the maximum damage is done between 6 months to 12 months. So, you know, we just went to the fancy restaurant. We ordered our items, right? The, like, well, what's it called? The cheap appetizer, like the cheap bread that comes with the food, that just showed up. That's literally where we're at, right? Even the fucking appetizer hasn't shown up yet.
Oh yeah, Sir Arnav, what do people in India make of like Modi ji, his visit to Israel? Like, do they think that was a mistake?
I mean, with India, see, it's not like a big power. So for us, it is like prudent to
don't sell yourself short, man. Don't sell yourself short.
Hey, it's better to be underestimated. Like, as on day, it's better to be underestimated. But as on, like, India has decent relationships with everyone in this country. It isn't like, we have like, cornered one side off or anything. Because like in like in Kashmir, like 60 crore worth of like gold and all has been sent to Iranian embassy. So there are like supporters of every kind, and it's like, we are diplomatic. That would be the word. We are
Brother Naji, I'd asked Sir Arnav in the Telegram channel, or I'd told him that I'd saw that India and Modi were being floated as possible mediators between Iran and the Americans and Israel. And what did you say, Sir Arnav? It would be the first time a street shitter saved the world or something. I was cackling.
All right, let's relax, guys. Let's relax.
No. I said to him that like we import 85% of our energy. We don't have any. We don't have any standing. Like, we are at the mercy of these powers. I mean, like whatever like reports have been saying, they are allowing our ships as on date. So hope that happens. India is a neutral player. Like, we are where the wind is. Like, it isn't like we don't have any strong ideological position.
That might be exactly why you'd be useful here.
Yeah, no, that's a good position. That's a good position. I think honestly, Pakistan is the same way at this point because they're run by corrupt people and whatnot. So yeah. Well, I hope for the best for all our Bajans out there.
Yeah. What are we dealing with here now? Now that this bullshit is happening, give me a second. Okay, we already read that. Okay. French President Macron calls on all medium-sized powers to join forces and stand up to the US and China. buddy, listen, man. Listen, man. Bro, listen. If you wanna not be goyim, I'm gonna give the French president some advice. I know I'm not supposed to do this because like he's not even sentient, right? But I'm gonna give him some advice. If you actually want middle powers or medium powers or whatever the fuck to be relevant in the world, man, you guys gotta get together on a boat, sail up to fucking Iran, get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness. All right? That's what you gotta do, right? After Iran forgives you, then you can pay Iran the money that they're owed for all the sanctions these years, pay up the tolls, pay up all the shit, right? And then they'll let you pass and the crisis is over, man. It's very simple, right? You don't have to like, stand up to Russia, America and China. Buddy, shut up, man. Just be nice with Iran. Be nice with Iran. Get your shitty oil or whatever the fuck, right? And you'll be fine, right? But I know it's not going to happen. They're a bunch of fucking goyim. They're going to follow America off the cliff, right? And after that, new French leadership will emerge, and hopefully they'll be nice with Iran. But that's how it is, man. Oh, dear. Fucking Emmanuel Macron. Sir Kenneth, what should Emmanuel Macron do?
What should Emmanuel Macron do? Well, if I were Emmanuel Macron, I'd probably be looking for a high bridge to leap off. But, if I were Emmanuel Macron, I'd probably be like starring in blacked porn. I'd be sitting in my chair watching, my wife doing my wife the transvestite. But anyway.
Oh dear. That's actually, this is a scenario where this is actually true because like France has shut down how many? 500, gas stations and like 100, 200 like, of these other places like, so they're just running out of energy. Like it might even be the case that in June and July, there's no fucking electricity in Paris, right? If they don't get like emergency rations and the government's not like, all right, we're going to do fucking energy lockdowns. That's the situation France and the rest of Europe's going to be in.
No electricity in Paris in the summer. It smells crazy in there.
Oh God, man. Oh man.
Christ. I mean, yeah. What is Europe's end game? Like, are they going to just impale themselves for Zionism? Like,
there's really only two options. Option number one is they follow America and they jump off the cliff, in which case they're fucked, right? And new leadership emerges, which makes nice with Iran, Russia, and China, right? In this scenario, right, like Paris goes dark, Berlin goes dark, riots, civil unrest, the whole shebang, right? That's option number one. Option number two is the easy scenario where like Macron and these other guys, they're like, yeah, we can't jump off the cliff with America. We got to get down on our knees and like, hope and pray to God that Iran forgives us. And if Iran forgives us, then we can get some oil and gas and whatever and 50 other things if we pay up the money that they're owed, right? But like those are the only two.
Take over. Basically, Sanaji, like you guys are going to take over. Yes. It's already happening. Maybe like this crisis will make it formal.
I mean, like Robert Pape. I don't know, Sir Arnav, if you know this, but like Robert Pape was basically saying, and I forget the it's called Breaking Points. That's the name of the show. Yeah, the name of the show is Breaking Points. Breaking Points is like mainstream. It's not mainstream, but it's also not fringe. It's kind of like in between the things, right? It's kind of like a medium-sized show, right? But he basically said that because of Trump's actions, what he has done is he has created a new center of global power in the world, right? And that global power presently is with Iran and like the Shia world right now, right? And the reason for that is because not only does Iran control more than 20% of the world oil supply, and it has become the oil hegemon, right? But it also controls like phosphates, aluminum, all these other things, right, via the toll booth on the streets of Hormuz. And so the point he was making was that now there are four centers of global power: Russia, China, America, and now Iran. And he's basically saying that the fourth center of power is going to consolidate and increase more in power and influence, courtesy of like the American center of power and influence vanishing, right? That's his, like, and this guy, by the way, Pape is like whatchamacallit, Pape is like University of Chicago political science professor. Like this guy's been around for how many decades? This guy's like a mainstream guy. And like he's starting to talk like this, man.
Yeah, 20, 30 years. No, you're right. And look, I mean, also University of Chicago has brought us some ultimately retarded economic takes too. So let's not let
I bring it up. Yeah, bro, but I bring it up because like this is fucking like, this is not like Alex Jones. It's not like Alex Jones.
I hear you.
This is like a political science professor, University of Chicago, who's talking about this. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But hasn't like American left always have this opinion of like, like being anti-America, like, America is not this huge power or anything. Like they always have this faction within themselves.
Well, Pape, Pape is an interesting guy.
He's not left.
No, he's not left. He's not left because Pape was, if you want to know who he is, right? He's like with security studies and all these other things. One of the things he wrote, there was a book he wrote, and the book he wrote was called Bombing to Win. And I think in that book, the point he made was that if you do a lot of strategic bombing from the air, you actually can't win a war, right? And the reason for that is because you need boots on the ground, right? Like that was the point. I mean, it's a very simple point, but turns out a lot of people don't understand it, right? And then he also wrote a book, it's called Dying to Win. And he kind of looked at like suicide bombing and like how, America's enemies use suicide bombing to win strategically and this kind of stuff, right? So he's been ahead of the curve with regard to these sorts of things for a while, right? But he advises the military. I mean, he used to, right? Nowadays, I don't think not so much, right? But yeah.
No, I mean, I think he does have the ear of the president. I think at least whatever.
He used to. He used to. Yeah. He used to. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Here's the one thing I would push back a little bit when you say that Iran is going to become there'll be like a Shia superpower in the Middle East or West.
No. That's not what he said. I'm not talking about what my view is. I'm saying that he's talking about it, right? He's talking about it's going to be a world power. And the reason he says that is because after it becomes the toll booth operator of the Straits of Hormuz, right? After that gets formalized, it can selectively blackmail people and be like, okay, man, no oil for you this month, or India, or Japan, you're being a bitch. I'm not gonna give you this thing, right? So we're entering a world where like the monopoly man, the guy who sets, like you deal with a monopoly guy in like these movies where he's like the villain. Well, imagine the monopoly man, except he's an entire country, right? With like an army behind him, right? So there you go.
The one X factor, what about Turkey? What about Turkey? You know what I mean? Like, what are they? Because historically, right, they fought the, who were they?
Iran. They fought Iran.
Dynasty and whatever. Like, So, I mean, they're going to have some say in this. They just recently, connected themselves to Syria. They have deep ties there. So, what does Turkey have to say about this, in your opinion?
I mean, honestly, if they get an exemption from Iran, they're like, oh, you don't have to pay a toll. Yeah, I don't know. You're a brotherly nation or whatever. We've not fought in like 200 years or whatever the fuck, right? Like last time we fought was like 200 years ago. So, hey man, you get an exemption. And he's like, okay, cool. Can I get some help to kill the Kurds? And Iran's like, yeah, man, sure. Let's kill Kurds together. Right? Honestly, I think Turkey's not gonna, like, the only way I think Turkey would enter this war against Iran would be like Iran doing something to like, make the separatists in Turkey rise up or whatever, right? Which I don't think is gonna happen, right? But it's actually more likely that Turkey joins forces with Iran if the Americans decide to go like, okay, well, this ground, special forces thing isn't working. Let's arm the Kurds again and let's try to fucking kill Iran that way, right? But also Pakistan got an exemption. Like Iran is just like, I'm the blackmailer guy. I'm the energy blackmail guy. All my friends, all my Muslim brothers, man, not you, Saudi Arabia, but like, Pakistan, Turkey, bro, you get an exemption. You don't have to pay a toll. Don't worry, guys. But like fucking Germany, man, they gotta pay a toll and France has to pay a toll, but you don't. You can pass freely. We're not gonna do anything to you. So funny.
So Bangladesh also, sir?
Yeah, Bangladesh has got an exemption. Yeah, Bangladesh exemption, Russia exemption, China exemption, Pakistan as well. They're probably, I think, what was the name of that the Philippines went to Iran, got down on their knees and begged Iran for mercy. I think Iran is saying that, yeah, we'll give you an exemption as well, right? But in the next couple of days, they're gonna publish a list of like grades. So like I think the grade 1 countries get exemptions, and then grade 5 countries are not allowed to pass. And then I think grade 3 and whatever has to pay like a toll or whatever. The number right now, if I remember correctly, it's like $1 in Chinese yuan equivalent, or like Iranian real, or like a bunch of stable coins. Like you can pay in multiple ways, right? But the amount has to be $1, and that's owing on every barrel of oil, right? And then they have other rates for like other stuff. So for example, they have rates for like gas cylinders, then they have rates for like aluminum and helium and the whole thing. And that's what they're trying to set up in place, basically. It's gonna be like, I don't know if you guys have been to Bangladesh, but like in Bangladesh, we have like an expressway. And if you go on the toll booth of the expressway, it's like, okay, this many taka for a motorcycle. Oh, this many taka for a 4-seat passenger car. Oh, this many taka for like a bus with like 36 seats or whatever. And oh, this vehicle can't pass. So it's like that, basically. It's so funny, man. And I find the whole thing laughable. He's just humiliating him with America with everything he does with these things.
Yeah, and that's why I think, again, I think that America is so retarded that they're going to actually launch some kind of an invasion or some measure. They'll take extreme measures because they can't take that kind of humiliation. Like they're born and bred on,
they're goyim, man. They're fucking goyim.
So,
like they're solipsists, and so if you humiliate a solipsist to his face like this, and he's a solipsist and he's cattle, he's gonna charge you. Like the cattle's gonna charge you with his horns, and then like you know like the matador, like how the matador kills the cow, kills the goyim, right? He makes it charge at him on purpose, and then he impales him with like multiple swords. It's a very brutal thing, like Spanish bullfighting, but that's like what the Iranians are doing to the Americans. They're getting the Americans to charge them 12 or 13 or 15 times, and then slowly like hitting them with like swords and killing them, basically.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
the running of the goyim, yes.
Yeah, the running of the goyim. All right. Let me read this, actually. Let me read this. Okay. New. In a remarkable interview set to air on CBS Easter morning, the conservative archbishop who leads Catholics serving in the U.S. military says that the Trump-Vance White House's war against Iran is completely impermissible under Catholic teaching. Asked to respond to Pete Hexet's claims that God is guiding the military effort, Archbishop Broglio said the war is not sponsored by the Lord. Let me read this. Let me read this out. Let me read the whole thing. Okay, so, quote, under just war theory, no, Broglio said when asked directly whether the conflict with Iran is justified. The war, he explained, anticipates a nuclear threat rather than responding to real, empirical, realized danger. He aligned himself with Pope Leo XIV's repeated calls for ending the conflict. O'Keefe raised Defense Secretary Hexet's public prayers for the war's success from the Pentagon press room and his repeated invocations of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, to frame the conflict as righteous. Broglio called it problematic. Jesus, peace be upon him, he said, brought a message of peace. War should be always a last resort. It's hard to cast this war as something that would be sponsored by the Lord. Sir Kenneth, thoughts?
Well, I was going to mention just war before you got to that. There's also the idea within a just war, all other peaceful means have been exhausted. They weren't. We had lots. Not only, the Iranians were trying to come up with a peace treaty before we bombed Khomeini.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like, we provoked a war. That's a no-no under just war as it's understood by St. Augustine and St. Thomas Aquinas.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, it was, not only was it not a just war, it was a stupid war.
Yep. It's a stupid war, and it's only going to get stupider, Sir Kenneth.
Yeah, just war, nuclear threat. Okay, does Iran, Iran has been like a few months away from nukes since what, 1979?
Mm-hmm.
That was not a real threat. If, Pakistan has nukes, they haven't fired them at America yet.
Mm-hmm.
North Korea has nukes and hates America. They haven't fired at America yet.
Yeah. And they regularly talk about reducing America to like ashes right? They literally do it every like couple of weeks or so, like directly threatening to turn America into ashes. So, oh dear. What life
But
is like.
enough, like, is there any chance for any de-escalation, or is it like we have gone past that point way back?
I think what's going to happen is the Americans are going to lose a lot more airframes, and eventually they're going to become combat ineffective. So they'll retreat to Cyprus, Romania, and these other places, and the sorties will basically be gone. And at that point, as Brother Naji was saying, they'll try like, because they're like a goyim, they're like cattle who can't be humiliated. They're going to try and attack Iran with like special forces and all this other shit. The special forces are going to get massacred, right? Outright massacred, captured, massacred, amputated, etc. After that, they'll try to do the Kurds. I don't think the Kurds are going to do anything. If they do, Turkey's going to squish them, right? And after that, what else? Oh, we need a draft. Look at the fucking Iranians, man. They're crazy. They killed all these Americans, these fucking Iranians, these savages, right? And once they try that, the America as a society collapses, right? So I think that's where we're headed. I think like, if you want to know what the world looks like, yeah, we're looking at America becoming like 1989, 1990 Soviet Union, right after it lost the Afghanistan war, except it's 10 times worse because like, there's no like social cohesion. Nobody actually knows how to fucking work a farm. Most of them live in like the cities, and, America's made lots of friends overseas who will be like, yeah, time to like, stick the knife in and like, squeeze it and like twist it basically. Right. So there you go. What a shit show. Largest in decades, state of the Democrat Party, extremely motivated to vote. Another kidnap from tank. Okay, let me just see what else is here. Mint Press News. Did I read this already or? Confirmed Hezbollah hit rocket. Yeah, it's gonna be more of this shit show. But I think we've gone on for like 3+ hours. Any of you gents? Yeah.
I think we're good. I'm good. Anybody else have anything? Speak now.
Or forever hold your tongue.
I would just say if we're looking at what a vision of the future might be, it's an Iranian boot stomping on an American neck forever.
Yeah, man. That's literally it, man.
I have seen the future, and it is fake and gay.
That's right.
Oh, man. Sir Kenaz, I know the perfect, give me a second. I know the perfect image that you should be using for, this episode. It's like that, Lego image of like the Iranians, running after the fucking, whatchamacallit. The fucking, Americans. So that'll be fun. I'll send that to you. But, thank you, gents, for, tuning in. It has been a lovely episode. It's only going to get shittier and shittier, and it's only going to get more fake and gay, and the goyim are only going to moo louder, and they're going to be more solipsistic, and they're going to talk about autarky, self-sufficiency, and 12 other things that are false. But you know how it is, right? It's going to be a fake and gay collapse of the evil empire. But till then, I will leave you with the usual words from the lovely Sir Kenaz. Sir Kenaz, what are the words?
The doom cometh.
The doom cometh. Thank you, gents. Thank you. See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Your soul is mine. No!